And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, Don Lemon arrested. Oh boy, hey, I'm going to go in on this topic. And it's not even really about Don Lemon. I don't care nothing about him. It's about people that don't understand the law. And as I said many times before, ignorance is no excuse of the law. But we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the journalists, it's like, come on, y'all got to really, people need to just get on the ball with what is legal and what is illegal. They don't understand anything about illegal immigration. They don't know what it's like to storm a church and how that's actually illegal. We'll talk about all that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the protests all over the country. You got them in Minnesota. LA is on fire. And I feel like every now and again, they just do this. Like I said before, the purge. Okay, let's have a purge every now and again. People just, I don't know, job. They kind of frustrated. Okay, go out there and tear some stuff up. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, some of these tax hikes in Virginia, especially, and California, oh my goodness. Hey, I saw the writing on the wall for Virginia many years ago. That's why I had to leave. I knew they raised taxes. I knew that it'd be a super, super blue stronghold, and I'm glad that I'm out. But we'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Hey, it's a cold one right now, ain't it? Did you guys get any snow where you are? We got some snow here, Chattanooga, Tennessee, East Tennessee, not far from the Georgia border. A lot of my Atlanta friends got plenty of snow. And shout out to you Northerners. You used to... Well, back in my day, we had 12 foot of snow walking to school, and we didn't even call off class. For us down here, we get a dusting. It's a little dicey on the roads. People like, hey, man, are the roads? Hey, man, how's this road? Is it clear? And when we say clear, we mean clear. Like, I ain't talking about a little bit of snow on the road. I'm talking about we want it to be no moisture on the ground at all. Rain, sleet, snow, nothing. That's clear. Anything beyond that, I don't even really want to do it. I'm glad I got my truck though, because without that truck, I most certainly wouldn't have gone nowhere today. If I just had my Mustang and that was it, I'll just stay in the house. So shout out to the truck, F-150, built for it tough. But did you guys get any snow where you are? Down south, Midwest, up north, left coast? How is it weather-wise where you are? 73 in SoCal. Lucky you. Lucky you. Shout out to you out there in Southern California, 73 degrees. Electric eye, you got 2 feet in Connecticut. Wow. Mercer says it's snowing here in the ATL. Yes, it is. Shout out to Atlanta. 61 in San Francisco. All righty. I know I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Perron says what's that? Was that 2 foot or 2 inches from the last one? Texan Amiga says cold, dry in Southeast Texas. None in Vancouver. 10 degrees Celsius. 10 degrees Fahrenheit, I suppose, here in Pennsylvania. 24 degrees in West Georgia. Hey, man. Yeah, like right now, what is it? Right now, where I am, it is 22 degrees. 22 degrees. And actually, it's 19 degrees. It's 19 degrees, and I'm gonna look at the hourly for my particular area. Yeah, it's just gonna go down from here. Yeah, and I'm not really a big fan of the very cold weather. Yeah, I went out today. I'm seeing stuff freeze. OBS, you got to fix this little freezing issue. I don't know if it's YouTube or OBS or what's going on. Maybe it's my rig. I got to update my rig because I'm seeing some freezing. But anyway, yeah, it was cold. I don't like that. I'm out there bundled up. The heat in my car is perfectly fine the way it works, but it ain't enough. I need some more. Star Fix Starfire, pardon me. Starfire X says, no snow in Birmingham, Alabama, but 19 degrees. Wow. Neckbone McGrizzle. Okie dokie. That's an interesting name. Says 16 degrees in Connecticut, New Haven, 17 in Wisconsin. Says Jeff, 17 in Louisville, Kentucky. Summerly, 43 in Southwest Florida. Hey, I know 43 is not that bad, but in Southwest Florida, you're not used to the 43 degrees. It's like, it's 55 degrees out here. I'm about to freeze to death because you're not used to the actual cold. Now, if you're living in New York, you living in like, especially like upstate, you living in Buffalo, New York, 43 degrees is like a warm summer day to you because you're used to the extreme cold and the snow and stuff like that. You got that lake right there, lake effect snow and that wind. Oh my goodness. I don't know how y'all do it. Y'all got to be part Eskimo to be up there. Y'all got to be part Eskimo to live up there. Either one of them Nordic, them aliens that came down that can live in the real cold weather, or one of them Eskimos that stay in the igloo or whatever they got going on. Okay, they got buffalo hide on their hind parts. Yeah, y'all good up there when they're extremely cold. But me, do I look like an Eskimo or my name is Bjornsson or something like this? I like the tropical weather. Okay, I got about that much Nordic. That Nordic in my DNA is not enough for these very cold temperatures. I'll tell you right there. I can't do nothing with it. For Game says cold is great. Hey, speaking of the Nordic aliens, that's you right there because you like the cold. No, I'm just playing. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. I know Blue Lotus, you know, wintertime, that's when the planet is away from the sun. I get it. You guys might have saw that video. The lady was like, yeah, it's snowing because it's winter. Yeah, I understand. I get it. But still, I'm good on that. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling with me. My goodness. Hey, Don Lemon, the journalist. Yo, you have to understand what the law is. I'm surprised how many journalists don't know the law. They don't really know. And you know what? You know the problem with a lot of journalists? They work for corporations, and the corporations will tell them, hey, this is what you got to cover. This is where you got to go. They're going to give you the assignment. And a guy like Don Lemon, as far as I know, he was always in the studio. So whatever CNN would tell him to say on a teleprompter, he'd read that. Chris Cuomo, same thing. Joe Scarborough, same thing. And we're going to show these guys in a minute, showing how ignorant they are, unfortunately. But that is how these kind of guys, these TV guys, are different than in the field, street interviewers, independent journalists. They're different. When you work for any news corporation and you are on-air talent and your job is to read the prompter, you're going to get whatever they give you, read that, and then that's it. If you're a local news person, you covering cats and trees and people getting shot at a birthday party and stuff like that. You're going to go to the scene. Hi, this is generic newsman number 1, and we're looking at the scene behind us. Someone just got stretched out on the ground. You doing that kind of stuff. Okay, you're not really doing no investigative journalism like that. You're not going into some of these crazy places. I mean, some guys and girls do that, but for the most part, people on television don't really do that. They're given the order, they're given a directive, they work a job, and that's okay. But see, some of these guys seem to think that YouTubers and street interview guys are like less respected, like we don't really count. And what they do is better. I had one guy tell me that I'm jealous of him because he's on a certain news station. I'm like, bro, you have your place and I respect what you do, but I have my place, but you got to respect what I do, because without a lot of the influencers and independent guys, a lot of things would not come to the surface. I think of one Nick Shirley. How many news people on television were able to do what he did as far as bringing that out to the entire world, not just a local spot here and there in Minneapolis, to the whole world. He did that. There was no corporation that was going to go do that. It was up to him, an independent journalist. Everyone has their role to play. And I feel like since everything has become a lot more corporatized and people have agendas and it's a lot of clicks and buddy, the independent journalist will become much more important. However, when you're an independent journalist, you still must follow laws. Don Lemon would never get sent on a dummy mission like that by CNN. They're not going to send him to go become entrenched with a church protest group and have him go in the church while the protest is happening. People talking about some, violating, that's a violation of freedom of speech. Look, let me tell you something. I don't know who told me this or where I heard it, but this is not my original phrase or saying or whatever you want to call it. Your right to swing your fist ends where my face begins. I'll say that one more time. Your right to swing your fist ends where my face begins. Hey, you could go out there and protest all you want. As a matter of fact, let me tell you the difference between the protest and what Don Lemon did. A regular protest is a thing that I've grown up seeing my whole life. I'm from Virginia. I would go to DC a lot as a kid. We got family up there, and then it'd be like a field trip or vacate, like whatever. Not a vacation, I never do that. But anyway, I would go to DC a lot. And when I would go to DC, what did I see? People out there with signs in front of the White House with signs like this, just, okay, stop this new thing, stop this new thing. That's what they would do. There was never a rushing into the White House, harassing people, nothing like that. That's not a protest. That is, you talking about private property and trespassing, and you talking about something that could be dangerous, going into a prohibited area. That's not the same thing as we want the current thing. That's a protest. And to nail that point home, the guy who got himself deleted, Alex Pretty, whatever it is, the guy who they tried to make him be pretty with that Photoshop picture, MSNBC. But anyway, he was not a protester. Again, where's your sign at? Where's the we want the current thing? Where's that at? You have on combat gear like you're really in the video game for real. You picked up some gear with some stats on it, put that on to go out there and harass any of the federal agents. It don't matter. ICE, Border Patrol, regular police, locally, it don't matter. You were out there to disrupt, not to protest. Don Lemon, once you made a plan with them and you concealed information willfully, and then you went and did that, see, that's called conspiracy. People don't understand the law. Lawyers are coming out and saying it's conspiracy. I know what the law is. I know guys that have done stuff that could be considered conspiracy. Okay, well, they said that they did something that could. I know I've seen guys' paperwork, I've seen guys' charges, and I know the story behind it. So when I heard what he did, when I saw what he did, I'm like, okay, that's conspiracy right there. Yeah, they're going to charge you. If they don't charge you, they're giving you a pass because they got a case right there. It's open and shut. You, Don Lemon, recorded yourself and put it on the internet outlining the conspiracy. Let me tell you the key element that I saw straight from the beginning, right when I first saw it. When he's saying, we're going to go somewhere, but I can't tell you. We're going to go do something, but I can't tell you. That language is very important. This is why words matter. So when they say a man can have a baby, no. That's not how that works. Language is very important. Oh, I identify as a man. Well, look, I identify as a pet dinosaur. I identify as a 16 million year old dinosaur that's living right now. Okay, that's what I identify as. And therefore, as a dinosaur, I should be able to graze just however I want. I could go to a cattle farm and just eat a cow for no reason because I identify as a dinosaur. That's not how that works, bro. At a certain point, you're dealing with real life. Okay, you're dealing with actual real life. And people like Don Lemon don't get it, so they don't understand what the law is. When you say we're going to go somewhere, we're going to do something, that word we actually means we, meaning you're part of the group. If you would have said they're going to go to a church, I'm going to go outside and cover it, see, you would have been okay. Because when you do that, it totally removes you from whatever they got going on, from their planning, from their organization. And once you stand outside, now you could just, if anything comes out of this private property, you're in public. Now you're able to ask questions if they want to be asked. You would have been okay. But what you did was hide the plan. You took away the element of surprise. You colluded with them. You conspired with them. That's called conspiracy. And then you went inside a private place and you were participating in the whole situation. The people inside, aside from you, Don Lemon, who were arrested, were shouting people down, disrupted the church service. You got little kids crying. You're filming it, talking about, oh, you got little kids crying, but that's what it's all about. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to make you feel bad, uncomfortable, uneasy. You said that on video, bro. But like I said before, I know for 100% certain that Don Lemon is retarded and didn't even know any better. He didn't even know any better. He's just kind of going along with it. He's letting that jet leg, cracker jack, ambulance chaser, Nakima Levy Williams, whatever her name is, he's letting her run the show. See, that's why a guy like him is not really a good independent journalist, because you're not neutral. You're totally on the left. If you want to be a YouTuber, okay, but you can't go do stuff like that in real life. If you want to be a YouTuber that's like kind of trying to argue and debate, all right, do it that way. But you can't go do real things in the real world and real people's spaces the same way you would do in an online space or in a space that is agreed upon. If you go in public and have these kind of debates, you can't go on someone's private property. I would say set it up beforehand. Do like some of the guys do in Atlanta. They go to the Beltline. If you know what that is, it's like an outdoor area, got shops and whatnot, bike path, people walk on it. Go to the Beltline with a microphone in public and do your interviews there. Going inside the church, and look, if you think that it's okay to interrupt a church service, please block me right now, because I don't even want to talk to you. I'm not even a Christian. I'm not even religious, but I respect religion 100%. I don't play around with people's faith. I don't do that. That's not, And you shouldn't either. It doesn't matter what they are, whether they be Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, any kind of religion they got. Let them do that in their space. Let them do that. What are you going to accomplish by storming the church and making little kids cry? Do you think that helps your goal? Do you think that helps your purpose? Do you think that you've done a good thing for society? Have you done a good thing for yourself? I mean, maybe if you get people that follow you who like to see people crying in the church, little kids crying in the church, if you have people that follow you who appreciate that kind of behavior, okay. But guess what, though? Hey, Don, guess what? The funny part, when you get locked up, those same people who you're trying to please, the same ones you are making content for, when you get locked up, hey, man, hey, where's Don? He's in jail. Oh, man, that's too bad. Well, who else are we watching on TV? I'm watching Don Lemon. He's not on in the internet anymore for about 6 months to a year. So who else do I watch? They move on. They don't care nothing about you. Let you right in there. It lets you right in there. Just like the people that got themselves deleted. Okay, Alex Pretty, he dead, and who cares, right? It ain't really no big deal. They might go out there and tear stuff up in the community in the name of helping the black man. Meanwhile, they're going to go to an area where there's a lot of black folks up. They're going to go to an area where there's a lot of black folks at and tear that up and then say, Black Lives Matter. Hey, Black Lives Matter so much. Here's Molotov cocktail right to the black community. Bam, take that. When the flames are going on, little black kids crying, the white folks will say, why are you crying? We did this for you. So they'll do that, I guess, but what else? Nothing. Renee Nicole Good. I showed the video of the lady when she came to the memorial talking about, you know what? I feel kind of icky about crying. I feel kind of icky because, you know, I'm white and she's white. It doesn't really feel right. Imagine dying for this cause, and when you die, people would just desecrate your grave. The same ones that you are trying to go out there and quote unquote die for. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. But yeah, the knowledge, the information gap is real. The information gap is real. Now, Don is out on bail, but people kind of mad about that. I mean, he won't get remanded. This ain't El Chapo or Puff Daddy or nothing like that. And not even Puff. Puff shouldn't even really got locked up. But you understand what I'm saying? He's not some kind of big. This ain't like, you know, you didn't kill somebody or something like that. Now, don't get it twisted. This is not a good thing, and he should be held accountable. His next court date is February 9th in Minnesota. Okay, federal court. Now, he faces 2 charges. U.S. Code Section 241, 18 U.S. Code 241, 18 U.S. Code 248. Basically conspiracy and the FACE Act. All right, so he faces those 2 federal charges. Now, we have precedent for things like this because in the previous administration, a lot of people got locked up for protesting outside of abortion centers. Okay, they got locked up for that. Beverly Beatty got pardoned eventually by Trump, but she still did 6 months in the penitentiary. So if Beverly got 6 months for going out there and protesting an abortion facility outside by herself, never inside, never with a group, never with an accomplice, never with some kind of foreplanning with a bunch of people, if she got 6 months in the joint, then so shall Don Lemon for a more egregious act. I think that's fair. I think it's fair. If Beverly got 6 months for protesting an abortion facility under the same law that Donald will be tried under, then he should get 6 months for doing what he did. What makes Don Lemon better or a person who deserves protection more than Beverly Beatty? I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to get it. Why is he different than anybody else? The only thing they're going to be able to say in his defense is that he didn't know any better. And not listen, Don, if you listen to me, I know you don't know nothing. I know you just didn't even understand. I get it, but that's no excuse because the thing is, if we just let him use that excuse, that'll always be the excuse. So I didn't know anything. So the least they could do, if no jail time, like 15 years probation. If you sneeze the wrong way, you're going straight to the penitentiary, big rocks, little rocks. And then at that point, you can't say I didn't know because now you've been educated. Now you've been told exactly what you can and cannot do. But nah, if it was me, I would say 1 year in the joint. And under the FACE Act, the penalty is up to a year and a fine. That's the actual penalty written in the law. So if you're expecting them to get like 5 years, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. I mean, it'd be nice, but you got to actually just follow the law. And that's my whole point. Follow the law and know what the law is. And if you don't know the law, you should read up on it because you don't want to go do something that could be considered, and even if you didn't know, pro tip, if you are going somewhere with somebody and it doesn't look right. So, okay, somebody tell me, okay, AB, are we going to go to this church and protest? Okay, let's go. You get to the church and people are going inside. Can't do that. Can't do that. That's called FACE Act violation right there. Outside, something like that. And if it was me, I wouldn't even do it anyway. But if I wanted to do it, if I wanted to go there and help them, which I wouldn't, I got to just understand kind of what I'm doing. And if I don't understand, I need to ask somebody. But this is the benefit of having the company you work for because they'll tell you all of that. They'll give you all the outs and ins and outs. They'll give you the whole shebang. And or they will just send you to their appropriate place rather than send you to a place like that. Very simple. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Hey, you see the video about the tax hikes in Virginia? Hey, these tax hikes are crazy. And the same thing happened in California. California, it's a beautiful place, but the people are so incompetent. I'm going to get to the video a little bit later about this whole California tax thing. But one thing that I want to say right now is they want to raise taxes in California from a new tax, a mileage tax. And this tax will be determined based upon how many miles you drive in a year. Now, I don't know how they're going to calculate that. I guess from an inspection or something. I have no idea how they're going to do that. It'd be crazy if they put a tracker on your car to see how many miles you drive. Hey, Californians, if you have the option of putting a tracker on your car to count your miles for a discount on the actual rate you pay for the mileage fee, don't do it because now, you're pretty much giving them an open. I think I have a microphone on it and some more stuff. So don't let them bug your car. Hey, do not let them bug your car with any kind of device that are tracking miles because if you do that, the car is bugged. Whatever you say, you saying something in your car, just off color, random. Mr. Logan, yeah, we heard you in your car saying something a little bit concerning. Are you okay? This is a welfare check. You hurt me in my car. How you do that? Well, you put that device in there, remember? You trying to save 5% on your bill? Yeah. We heard you from that device, so please don't do that. They already got your phone as it is, so please don't let them have a device in your car. But that tax, they want to tax you per mile you drive in California because what they did was push for EVs to be the norm, push for EVs to be what you buy. They're trying to phase out electric vehicles, which is the most retarded thing you could ever do in 2026. But they did not anticipate that they would lose a lot of money from the gas tax. You got a regular internal combustion engine car, gas powered. You go into the gas station, you put in gas in your tank. A lot of that, well, I don't know if it's a lot, but a portion of the money that you spend for each gallon of gas is tax. Now, if people are driving electric cars more, what's going to happen is that money will dry up. So they got to figure out a way to tax you for driving your car. The previous way was the gas tax. Now it's straight up mileage tax. I don't know about y'all, but I refuse to pay a mileage tax. I refuse. I'm not going to say I will change my odometer. I'm not going to say I'm going to get a device that I can do that and it'll be on Amazon. I'm not going to say I can do that. I don't even know if it exists. I'm just talking. But if that was me, man, listen, you wouldn't know how far I drove. I'm not putting no device in my car. I'm not doing no Google Maps, no Apple, because they could track that too. If they really want to do it, because California's petty like that, they would go back years and give you an audit because they are broke and they want some money. So I wouldn't put it past them to try to subpoena Google and Apple for your data on your navigation devices. Oh, well, look, according to Google Maps, you done drove 5,000 miles this year. Where the money at? I'm good. California, beautiful place, but the leadership is second worst in the country, right behind Minnesota with Tampon Tim and Amy Klobuchar and everybody else. The Somalis, that whole thing, that whole thievery operation. It's like Captain Phillips, alternate universe. Captain Phillips became the governor of Minnesota, and then the Somali pirates became the citizens. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Duel says, insurance company says to download their app to track your driving habits for discount, but if you have a dash cam, you get no discount. Make that make sense. Exactly. Nah, because they can tell by your habits your propensity to get into accidents, fender benders, or whatever. So they're going to base the rate you pay on how you drive from an algorithm. I'm good on that. You don't got to worry about that. I'm going to drive my car as well. I'm going to be a good driver. I'm not going to get into no accidents. I ain't going to be doing no stunts or wheelies, nothing crazy on the road. Okay. I ain't going to be doing no donuts. I'm not going to no street takeover on my Mustang. Don't worry about it. I am a great driver. But what you're not going to do is put that bug in my hind parts and put me on the algorithm and say, oh, you were driving 2.2 miles over the speed limit. You're a speedy driver. Now, don't do that. I know how to drive. I don't got to have a computer tell me how to drive. 41 years old. I've been driving since I've been a child. I've been behind the wheel since I've been a child. I don't need Mr. Computer Man to tell me anything about my driving. I don't need it. But shout out to you guys. Oh, and before I keep moving here, Epstein files. Now listen, give me a minute. Give me a minute. I know. I'm like the old preacher man at this point. And it's like, hey, I know the game is starting right now. Kickoff is starting right now, but give me a minute. The Epstein files. Some things came out today. I saw something about yesterday, whatever. Over the past few days, weeks, we got a big leak that came out or a big release that came out. And some of the things in there, it's nothing really. People are kind of bloodthirsty wanting the Epstein files because they want some kind of big ring of child traffickers to get sent to the penitentiary. But the truth is, let me tell you something right now. Here's the truth. You ready? Because you know what? I think the reluctance behind releasing the Epstein files is because the general public cannot handle the truth. about the Epstein files. Hold on. Let me get it together. I got to get someone this lip balm. Shout out to the lip balm. Yeah. Oh, and if you see a guy on a podcast with lip balm, it's because it helps us speak better. Because if you're a little bit dehydrated, like I'm good, but if you're a teensy bit dehydrated and your lips sticking together, it can make for a bad video. Also, when you're trying to speak, it's harder. But anyway, let me go back to the Epstein files. So I don't think y'all are really. I don't think y'all are really ready for the Epstein files. Ain't gonna be no child traffickers in there that have not been prosecuted. That's not gonna happen. What you're going to see is some very embarrassing things that people have done over the years. Bill Gates. Now, Bill Gates is not suspected, as far as I know, of any child trafficking. Has that been an accusation of Bill Gates? And I'm not trying to defend Bill Gates, but has that been an accusation that Bill Gates is involved in child trafficking? If it is, okay, maybe I missed something. But in the Epstein files that just came out, it said that he was with some Russian prostitutes and they got an STD. It's like, why is that? Why do I need to know that? Why must I know that? I mean, did he do anything illegal? That's his personal life. That's his personal life. Now, I'm not going to do that, but I'm not trying to police his behavior. That's not a thing that's illegal that he would go to jail for. So why do I care about that? It's just embarrassing and it serves no purpose other than it being embarrassing. And you got some of these rappers, Pusha T. Hey, Pusha T, my Virginia brother. Pusha T, they said that he was with Epstein and the girl in 2007. That's like, you know what? That's plausible because 2007 in Virginia, the streets were fire truck hot. I'm talking about super hot. And I was out there during that time. And I would see him and I would see a lot of them out there in the street. A lot of guys I ain't even going to mention have been in jail and everything. Guys that's dead now. I seen a lot of them guys in the street. So it's believable. But when I read it, I'm like, that's it. I mean, I'm not saying it's okay. But what I'm telling you is a lot of what you're going to see in these files is not irregular. It's not uncommon. And it might not even be illegal. It might just be uncomfortable for you guys to read. It might be disappointing for you guys to read that. If you like a certain guy or a girl, a celebrity or something like this, and you see him in the Epstein files doing something kind of weird, it might kind of turn you off. It might make you feel a certain way. It might turn your stomach. But guess what? I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this right now. Music industry, movie industry, Los Angeles in general is worse than whatever you've seen in the Epstein files. It's much worse than that. Believe me. Listen, I done seen so much stuff, and not even LA, but there is a whole different world that is existing with the world that you live in. And I don't mean any kind of spiritual thing, a thing you can't see. It's just you don't see these things. You're not with these people. You're not in these parties. You're not part of the group. You don't see what's going on. You don't see the drugs and all that kind of stuff that happens every single day in this world, right in this country. Your next door neighbor could be a whole swinger and you don't even know it. They can have parties nightly and you don't even know it. The person that you see on the bus, on just walking in the airport, your neighbor next to you on the airplane could be involved in a very crazy lifestyle and you would have no clue. None whatsoever. What if I told you just on the low level, PG level, that there are humans that have like for real AI girlfriends or boyfriends and they're married to them? That's just like not even, you might see it on TV, Black Mirror, something like that. But in real life, that's what they do. Okay. In real life, you got guys who do some really, really crazy things and you don't even know it. And a lot of you liberals, they want to try to protest ICE. They want to go out there and just make noise and be oppressed. But if they only knew how much ICE really protects them, how much police really protect them from the boogeyman, the scariest things you ever seen in your life, if they only knew how much they were protected and they had God's hand on their shoulder at all times, then they wouldn't say nothing. But because they are in this cocoon and they feel so safe and warm and cozy, then they go out there and say, white people are racist, America sucks, blah, blah, blah. Che Guevara, he's my best friend, because they don't know anything else other than this piece that has been created by the guys that they hate. Does that make sense? So yeah, more of the story with the whole Epstein Files thing. Most Americans are not ready to accept what's in there. It's not even about it being illegal. It's about some guys and girls that you might admire, that you might like, and you see something like that what they're doing, it rub you the wrong way. You're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. And the reality that you knew would kind of come crumbling down right in front of your eyes. All right. But shout out to you guys. Hold on. R Black Pearl says, I was surprised from a few I knew that had crazy secret acts. I've seen so much stuff in my life. At this point, nothing surprises me. You gotta really put a rabbit out of a hat to surprise me. I mean, I'm talking about it need to be a whole live hair. You got to pull a big 2-foot hair out of a baseball cap to surprise me in 2026. Anything else, don't let it surprise me. Okay, Jay-Z was with Epstein. Okay, yeah. I mean, that ain't nothing new. I mean, it's some of the girls that would be with Epstein were popular in rap music. Corinne Steffens, look her up. Don't look her up, actually. Don't do that, because it's going to put someone on your phone. Like, a lot of these girls that would be with Epstein were popular. I know some of these girls. Like, it ain't nothing. It was just like, you know, it'd be a girl right from your same neighborhood that you would know that would go do stuff like that. So for me, I'm not surprised. But for the general public, you living in Pleasantville, USA, you're not used to seeing things like that. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you hear so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Of course, you guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Y'all know that, and I couldn't do it without you. Shout out to the sponsor. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or visit patriotpost.us. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to Cameo. Oh, we got Cameo coming up. Shout out to Cameo. Valentine's Day coming up. So if you want a message for your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, something that's PG, you know, something like that. Hey, if you want to go on Cameo and get me for Valentine's Day, you could be something like this. Okay. Like a little, I mean, okay. I'm going to give this to my wife because she's a big fan of yours. Happy Valentine's Day. You know, something cheesy and corny. Do something like that. If it's something freaky, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you your money back. And I'm going to call the authorities. I'll be like, yo, this dude didn't tell me something freaky to say on Cameo. Yeah, I'm calling the popos on you. But nah, if you want me to give you a message custom made just for you, you can purchase one on cameo.com, search ABL, go to the description box. It'll be right there. Also, please go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, the t-shirts, the stickers, the hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. It is 1,000 degrees in here, but I ain't going to get up and turn the heat down because it's cold outside. I'd rather be baking than freezing. Anyway, also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. For each long-form video that I produce, I write an article, and in each article, we got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you're able to find my email address, my snail mail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you ever think you're conversing with me on the interwebs, you're probably not. If you didn't email me first, and my email is really easy, contact@anthonyblogan.com. Again, contact@anthonyblogan.com. If you can't remember, it's okay. It's always on the contact page of the website. And if you get a crazy message from an unknown number, unknown email in the comment section, talking about send you some gift cards, send you this and you that, send you some monies, don't get scammed. I'm not trying to see y'all on the news. Okay, woman in Saskatchewan gets scammed by Nigerians. loses her whole house, loses her life savings, loses everything. I don't want to see y'all have that happen with me, okay? It ain't me. Hey, I don't want y'all calling me talking about some ABL. I thought I could trust you. You took all my money. Hey, it was not me. It was another guy. It's a guy over there in the village in Lagos. It was not me. I did not do this to you. I don't have the means upon which to steal. I'm not a common criminal. You call me a criminal. I'm not a criminal at all. It's yours. But yeah, it's not me doing that to you. It's my the alter ego. Hey, it's a dude over in Lagos. That's the guy. And if you're watching from Lagos, shout out to you. Y'all know I love y'all out there in Nigeria. Y'all know y'all my cousins. It ain't nothing. You know, hey, since I'm your cousin, I can make jokes about you, but can't nobody joke about you, okay? I can joke about my cousins, but y'all can't. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Let's get to this whole Don Lemon thing because I want to show you the journalists. It's not really about Don. It's about the journalists and their reaction. Stephen A. Smith, all these guys talking about, oh, this is a threat to democracy, threat to democracy, threat to democracy. What are you talking about, bro? Like, you can't just go do whatever you want to do. You can't just go do whatever you want to do because you're a journalist. That ain't how that works. Hey, as I said, my whole bank robbery analogy, which is kind of going viral. My analogy kind of going viral. As I said before, okay, you got a bank robbery. People in their group are coming to you, the journalists, saying, hey, we're going to go rob this bank. You want to come with us and cover it? You're going to go inside the bank, and as the robbery is happening, you're going to interview the robbery victims. Ask yourself a question. Just like when you get that kind of proposal, think for a minute. Is this legal? I'm going to ask y'all one more time. If people in their group, meaning more than one, or one person, that don't matter, if anyone comes to you and says, hey, we're going to go rob this bank, you're a journalist, do you want to come cover it? Ask yourself if that's legal, yes or no. And hey, spoiler alert, I got a spoiler alert for you. You ready? Spoiler alert. It is not legal. That's not called journalism. People say, well, I'm invited to protest all the time. I get tips all the time. Okay, that's great. You're invited to protest. You get tips. That's fantastic. But the problem is that you have not been invited to a protest inside of a private place in which you're breaking the law by being there at that private place. And when you had the communication about, we're going to go do this, are you want to be part of it? And you get on your social media and say, we're going to go somewhere, but I can't tell you. We're going to go do something, but I can't tell you. That is called conspiracy. That right there, that's conspiracy all day long. All day long. That's what that is. And then you go do it. Now you're violating the FACE Act. That's two things right there. It's exactly what I said that he did is what he got charged with. The conspiracy, that's 18 U.S. Code 241, and then the FACE Act, 18 U.S. Code 248. What I said from the jump is exactly what happened. Like, hey, and since I'm right here right now, I want y'all to stop doubting me. I want you to stop it, okay? I got a little bit of doubt on the Alex Pretty video. Some of y'all doubted me. Most of you guys didn't. You guys watching tonight, but some of y'all doubted me. Y'all got to stop doing that. I think I've proven myself to be pretty accurate over the years, okay? You might not always agree, but you can't tell me that I'm not accurate. Now, let's get to what Don Lemon did just quickly, and then we're going to get to the reactions, okay? That's the main thing I wanted to focus on. Now, this video he shot before going inside of the church to the so-called protest, to the invasion, to the church storming. Again, this was recorded right before. And let's talk about something right quick, shall we? Before we play the video, let's talk about something right quick. This is what you call a staging area. Now, I've been at marches and stuff like that. We went to a march in DC in 2020, right before J6, all of that, in 2020. It was 2,000 of us. We was with Candace and Brandon. And I think Charlie was there. Yeah, they were all there. Candace, Brandon, Charlie. It was definitely an experience. When we finalized the actual march, we were right there on the south lawn of the White House, and it was me, Candace, everybody right in the front row, and Trump was like right there. It was crazy. But anyway, at a certain part of the march, we had stopped in the parking lot. It was kind of a staging area because people were getting flags and hats and other kind of stuff. It was a staging area. And it was an Antifa guy right there. Remember the mage I told you about? The Antifa mage, he was right there in the staging area. He probably saw it from afar. He knew we were going to stage it right there. We're going to go right there, get all our stuff, and then go on the march. That's happening right here. They're getting all the stuff together during their meeting, and from there, they're going to go to the protest. So if you're in the staging area and you go with them to the actual protest, you're part of it, especially when you use words like we. We're going to go somewhere. We're going to do something. You're at the staging area using collective language. You're part of it. And then you go inside the church and you're doing basically the same thing that the woke farmer was doing, who also got arrested. Why would Donovan be different than the woke farmer?
Into Minneapolis a little bit ago and did some reconnaissance on the ground, speaking to an organization there that's gearing up for resistance and protest. I've been pleasantly surprised to see the community coming together. Diverse community. If you see this, when we first pulled up, we're like, wait a minute, which operation are we at? And as it turns out, because we're like, well, this is kind of MAGA coded, right? So the American flag or whatever, but these are resistance protesters. They're planning an operation that we're going to follow them on. I can't tell you exactly what they're doing, but it's called Operation Pull Up. And it's Takima Armstrong, and she has been doing this since George Floyd, Dante Wright, and others, where they surprise people, catch them off guard, and hold them to account. And so that's what we're doing here. And then after we do this operation, you'll see it live. And these operations are surprise operations. Again, I can't tell you where they're.
After we do this operation, after we do the operation, somebody's going to say, well, I slip of the tongue. Nah, because you're out there in the staging area. You're going to go with him and you went inside the private place. Now, I know he didn't know that was illegal. I know he didn't know it, but now you know. So it's one thing to say, I didn't know it was illegal. And then you say, well, it's not illegal. No. It is illegal. You just didn't know it. All right, I got a little bit more. Then I'm going to get to the reactions.
Let me do this. I can't see anything on that
That's okay,
side.
I got it. Just park. Just hit park.
Twitch, we're back. Sunday morning church.
Yeah, okay, we'll see. After we do this operation, you'll see it live.
All right, that's what that was. So
activists are now in the church. This is what the First Amendment is about the freedom to protest. I'm sure
the First Amendment does not apply here because when you're in the church, you're worshiping and you are practicing your First Amendment rights. And like I think somebody said it, your right to swing your fist ends where my face begins. Okay? Your right to freedom of speech does not give you the right to violate my freedom of speech. My freedom of speech being in the church, worshiping. When you come in, shout me down, and in the service, you have blocked my freedom of speech. You have violated my freedom of speech and religion. You can't do that.
people here don't like it, but protests are not comfortable. And there are people here who are, I'm looking at a young man who's in the.
All right, hold on. Love, we got somebody in the chat. Love JC says he messed up. Donald be fine. Now you don't gotta retract it. I saw it. Hey, I saw the comment. You don't gotta delete it. Don't do that. You said he messed up. He's worth millions, and you pointed at me. Okay, well look, you're gonna spend millions trying to get out of the penitentiary. You're gonna spend millions on the lawyer when you get thrown in the federal penitentiary. When you go to federal court, you're gonna spend plenty of money trying to get out of that.
He's frightened.
Hey, you might mess around and get sued by so many people in this church. Hey, they might see your pants off, Don Lemon.
Scared, he's crying. People are leaving church. One of the members who looks to be really upset, a young person, the pastor is trying to calm him down over there. Perhaps they should come in, pray together, and talk together. But anyways, if I were the pastor, I would offer a prayer. I would try to calm things down and say, listen, talk to you. We're all citizens. We're all believers and Christians. It may look like MAGA coded.
So you're involved with it. You're in the church, you're involved with it, and you can tell that he's biased toward the side of the people that he came in with of that group. Okay, you're an agitator posing as a journalist. All right, you're gonna find out real quick what's going on. You're gonna find out real quick. Now let's keep on going here. Now this is a Fox News reporter. I'm not quite sure what his name is. I think his name is Matt Finn. Make sure I'm saying the right thing. Matt Finn. Yeah, Matt Finn on Fox News. Okay, this is him asking the question to Don.
Don, the indictment says that you protected the address. You protected the element of surprise. You kissed the organizer on camera. Do you consider yourself a participant or a journalist?
We on your side. You're participating by saying don't
We got your back, Don.
Did you guys hear that one more time?
Don, the indictment says that you protected the address. You protected the element of surprise. You kissed the organizer on camera. Do you consider yourself a participant or a journalist?
We on your side,
You're participating by saying don't
We got your back, Don.
Okay.
All right.
How are you? Good to see you.
You kissed the organizer on camera. So you know what? If you're a journalist, you got to be neutral, right? Okay, like I said, Ray gets shot, deleted at a house party. You're a journalist, you go out there and report it. Coming live from MLK Boulevard in Atlanta, Georgia, we have a 15-year-old juvenile shot and killed. Back to you, Johnny. Not kissing the shooter in the face right when he shot the person on the ground. You see what I'm saying? That ain't how that worked, Don. That's not how that works. Now, here's Don and his husband. Hey, a lot of y'all didn't even know he was gay. That's funny.
I want to thank everybody.
The white man's so dangerous. The white man's so dangerous. What? But not your white husband, huh? That's so typical. Hey, whenever you hear, especially a black person, but any so-called person of color, whenever you hear them talk about white man this, white man that, assume that they're married to a white man. Just assume it. You should already think that's the case. If they're not married to a white man, it don't matter if they are male or female. If they're not married to a white man, be surprised like, wow, you actually got a not a white guy? How did that happen, Mr. I Hate Whitey?
For their support. It truly means the world to me. I have no idea what's going on because obviously I haven't seen anything. I have spent my entire career covering the news. I will not stop now. In fact, there is no more important time than right now, this very moment, for a free and independent media that shines a light on the truth and holds those in power accountable. Again, I will not stop now. I will not stop ever. Last night, the DOJ sent a team of federal agents to arrest me in the middle of the night.
Now, look, he got arrested at 11:30 p.m. 11:30 p.m. I'm still right here on the podcast at that time of the night. That's not middle of the night, bro. That's like a little bit past your bedtime, but not middle of the night. Come on now. Don't be a drama queen, bro.
For something that I've been doing for the last 30 years, and that is covering the news. The First Amendment of the Constitution protects that work for me and for countless of other journalists who do what I do. I stand with all of them, and I will not be silenced. I look forward to my day in court. Thank you all.
All right, there we go. So that is Don Lemon with his husband, Tim Malone. You know the funniest part about this whole situation? Okay, if you search images of Don Lemon at the courthouse, for some reason, they don't really show his husband. Hold on, I'm going to show you. So look, this is just Google Images. You search Don Lemon Courthouse. And I'm seeing a lot of pictures, you know, stuff like this. And where's the husband at? Okay, it's always just him. Where's the husband at? They don't, oh, we got one right. That's the Instagram thumbnail. like right here, my Instagram thumbnail. But yeah, most of the pictures, it's like that. And there's no actual husband in the picture. Why is that the case? What's going on? You know, a lot of these companies talk about how inclusive they are, but I can't tell. I can't tell. Hey, you know, I'm gonna be surprised if they airbrushed them out. If they put AI on them and say, hey, remove the white guy from the picture. That's crazy. But yeah, shout out to the mainstream media doing what they do per usual. But anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, let's get to the mainstream media, how they reacted to it. Let's get to that. Okay, this is going to be CNN. All right, so we got one video before someone got educated and then one video afterward. All right, let's watch.
The question is he a protester or a journalist? And the indictment obviously suggested that he posted himself at the main door. He prevented people from exiting, but ultimately
No, it does not say that.
The indictment
it says that protesters did that. It names the other people. It did not say that Don did that.
Look, I just want to...
All right, Abby. You know, Abby, you're pretty good for a CNN person. I grade her on the curve, you know. I mean, like, if she was on Fox, it'd be terrible. But for CNN, because of how bad they are, she's, like, not as bad as, let's say, a Brian Stelter. I mean... Brian Stelter, Jim McCoskey, these guys are terrible. So she's not that bad. But right here, she's wrong. So from the first video, she's saying that the indictment did not say that Don Lemon was at the exit, kind of interfering with their ability to leave. That's what the indictment said. Abby Phillip says, no, it didn't say that. It was about the other people. No, it was Don Lemon. So here's the fact check.
Did that. Look, I just want to respond because you accused me of mischaracterizing the indictment. This is actually a quote from the indictment that Lemon posted himself at the main door of the church where he confronted some congregants and physically obstructed them as they tried to exit, challenging them with facts about U.S. immigration policy. So that is what the indictment says. I'm not stating whether I agree with that, but that's what the indictment says. So, look, you know.
They also characterized him as intimidating a pastor who he was calmly interviewing. So I think we also have to, the characterization of him conducting journalism is also something to be questioned.
Okay, again, if there's a bank robbery happening and you are a journalist, quote unquote, interviewing the manager of the bank during the robbery, that's not intimidation. Why are you even in here robbing the bank? Why are you in here violating a right to freedom of speech, a right to worship, religious freedom? Why are you even in here doing that? You being here interrupting us is intimidation. If it's me and I see something like that going on in my church, if I went to church, I would think y'all might be doing something else, like some kind of, y'all might be kind of violent. Y'all might be trying to shoot the church up. Nah, man, y'all gonna have to get up out of there immediately. By force or by choice, take your pick. Now, this is going to be News Nation. You got Chris Cuomo and Michael Knowles going back and forth. And Chris Cuomo is showing his ignorance. Chris Cuomo was also a CNN desk guy. And he's pretty much always been a desk guy. And here he'll show his ignorance of the law. Let's watch.
The president just arrested 2 journalists. Now I think that he's almost in double down mode. I thought he was in de-escalate mode. Now he's having journalists arrested.
Well, he arrested journalists for committing crimes and then filming themselves committing crimes and then talking and admitting on camera to committing those crimes. So, you know, just because you say you're a journalist doesn't mean he violated the FACE Act in 18 U.S. Code Section 241. Among others.
You think he used force? Yeah, well, look, just because you know the number of the statute, bravo, you probably know the acronym.
I just read the indictment.
But
are you mad? You hating. Look, see that? Did you catch that right there? Michael Knowles is able to cite the actual law that is in question, the one that Don Lemon violated allegedly. He was able to cite it. And Chris Cuomo was like, oh, think you're a tough guy. You know, I know the law. You know, it's called reading. It's called knowing how to read. It's called educating myself and not just going on TV and talking, reading the script. I should go do work, educating myself so I know what I'm saying. Okay. And look at my man right here. Hold on. You couldn't see the other guy. See his reaction. See, he know what's up. He know that, he know Michael Knowles got him. He know it, but let's watch.
They also want to throw the Ku Klux Klan Act after him. The indictment, as a lawyer, let me tell you, not an impressive document. And you should read into why that felony complaint that they tried originally got signed. Well, no, they're worried. They're worried about the application. They're worried about the application.
They like Don Lemon.
How did Don Lemon or Georgia Fort use force or intimidation? How did they use force or intimidation? Fundamental part of the mens rea of that statute. How?
Okay, now the intimidation comes when you're having your church service and then people who are obviously well coordinated, a lot of them come in and just disrupt the service. You disrupt the service with a lot of people to the point where children were in there crying. Don Lemon comes with the camera and says, oh, well, it's good the kids are crying because it's what it's all about, right? You're supposed to feel uncomfortable. You're supposed to have kids crying. He said that on camera in front of the kids. So when you say that there's no intimidation, how can you say that when you got people crying, people are scared, you can see their faces? If you show a jury, because let's be clear, he was indicted by a grand jury. Okay, that's the jury of your peers in Minnesota. And in Minnesota, this happened, right? And one of the most left places in the whole country, he got indicted by a grand jury there. All you got to do is just show his videos. It shows all of what needs to be said. So there's no actual argument here. Chris Cuomo is Don Lemon's friend, former colleague from CNN, trying to defend him, but some things are indefensible. Cuomo, Fredo, whatever you want to call it.
Chris, I think it's laudable that you want to defend your friend. Don Lemon said on camera that the purpose of the event that he was actively participating in was to traumatize people. And he said that is good. That is what that is for. He went in there. He admitted on camera. You're believing the woman who organized it for some reason. You're not believing Don Lemon, your own friend. He said that he knew a secret. He knew about what they were doing in advance. He wouldn't say it on camera. Yeah, he served coffee to his fellow activists in there. He violated the FACE Act. He conspired against rights. And a very important point. You cannot claim First Amendment protections while you actively violate the First Amendment rights of others. My friend, Chris Bell, his wife, Joan Bell, was in prison for 27 months over this for an abortion clinic.
There you go. So that's right on. Yeah, you cannot say, well, I got freedom of speech, First Amendment, as you violate my First Amendment, freedom of speech. You can't do that. Hey, I'll let you, you have your space. I'll let you have it. Let me have my space. When we intersect, when we meet, you can't try to interfere with me and vice versa. I'm in my church, having service. Here you come, shouting me down. You're wrong, period. All right. So, and of course, this whole thing would not be complete without the race card being played. Oh, you know, hey, they got their race card in their back pocket like a spade. Bam, right on the ground. Race card. Here you go. By someone wearing a blonde wig. You can't make it up. Hey, you cannot make this stuff up. The race card being played by somebody with a blonde wig on. Like, what in the world?
We need to remind ourselves of the racial element of this. There is a reason why I think Donald Trump not only picked independent journalists, but black journalists in particular. Clearly, we know there's no love lost between Don Lemon and Donald Trump, that he's been very critical of the president. The president they've gone back and forth. But if we go back and undo all the layers of all of this, it was black journalists that were really at the forefront of calling Donald Trump out, from the birtherism movement throughout a lot of the things that they saw early before the rest of the press really picked up on some of the things that concerned a lot of black journalists. Hello, me, who also called out Donald Trump in 2017. And the reason why I think he picked these particular journalists is being independent. You don't have the backing of a CNN. You don't have the backing of a big network. The other part of it, too, is that if you can make them the face of this issue that is happening in Minneapolis, we know that given some of the racial issues that we have in this country, it is likely to have a lot less sympathy because they are journalists, one, and people hate the press, and two, because they're black. And so I do think that that's an important part of this, especially given the president's own language when it comes to anti-DEI and making black people the face of woke, and all that we've heard from this administration. All of this is combined together and meant to drum up a certain sentiment against these journalists so that people are supporting their own rights being eroded because of who they think it's happening to. Even if.
Oh my goodness, man. I'm sorry. I played that because you're talking about ear torture, word salad. Hey, her word salad is a little bit better than Kamala's, a little teeny bit. Kamala got straight up romaine lettuce in the bowl, no dressing, no nothing, no cheese, no croutons, no bacon bits, no nothing. Now she got a little bit of bacon bits in her word salad.
I think.
She got some bacon bits in the word salad. Okay, she got a little bit of ranch dressing. But it ain't no protein in there. I can't do nothing with that. The lettuce is a little bit old. It's wilting. It's a little bit soft. It's not crunchy. I can't do nothing with it. That's word salad. You said nothing. You're making it be a race issue when the truth is it's not a race issue at all. It has nothing to do with race. Show me the people who raided a church and filmed it on TikTok. Like, show me that. I've not seen that happen anywhere else. And as far as black folks are concerned, who are the ones getting deleted out there in Minneapolis? Anybody black yet? We're not even out there in the protest. It's not even about us. Like, you know, the funny part is people try to say, you know, okay, since I'm a black person, I'm a conservative, right? They say I'm a coon or I'm an Uncle Tom or some kind of racial thing, right? They'll attack me with a racial slur and then call me the racist, right? That's the irony. Just immediately. But the reality is that they are projecting. They wish that they could be a white person and be successful as they think whites are, rather than just taking whatever kind of skills and talents that they have internally and making something out of it. They think because they're black, that means they're going to struggle. Because they're black, they're not going to have access to anything that whites have in this country. It's just a victim mindset, and I hate it so much because it keeps you trapped. Why try to do more? Why try to be better when you think that the reason why you are not able to be better is because you black? It's a prison you put your own self in. It's a prison you put your mind in. And you know what? That blonde wig, that tells the story right there. You want to be white, not me. But anyway, hey, whenever anybody says that, if somebody call me a coon, I hear in my mind a beep from a smoke detector. If you call me a racial slur and you black and you're mad at me because I'm conservative, what I hear when you say that is, I hear your smoke detector beeping. That's all I hear. I see your car is 20 years old with bald tires on the highway. I see your bald tire Nissan Altima with the odometer already been lapsed. That's what I see when you say something like that. And it doesn't have to be that way. It could be better than that. You could actually do better than that, but people don't want to. They want to stay in their own way. I hope you. And for real, people talking about here's something else. Oh, ABL, you're not invited to the cookout, ABL. I ain't planning on going. How about that? I didn't plan on going to the cookout. I don't want your diabetes food that got Big Mama leg from soul food cut off at the end. I don't want that. I ain't trying to be dead at 55 years old like y'all. Okay, I'm sure. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm doing too much. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyway, Charlemagne. Now, Charlemagne, shout out to Charlemagne. He got a really big deal from Clear Channel, aka iHeartMedia. Okay, hold on. His deal? What's his deal? $200 million with iHeart. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that right quick. 200 milli. 200 M's. Very good, Charlemagne. Very, very, very good. Hold on. Let me put it right here. So, Charlemagne, the guy, signs $200 million iHeart media deal, cementing his media empire. The nine-figure agreement keeps him on the Breakfast Club while expanding his Black Effect podcast network. Now, let me ask you a little question. Do you think a corporate giant like Clear Channel, iHeart, would give any one person $200 million for nothing? Is it just for his commentary? Is it just for his hot takes? Or is it about a certain level of control? Hey, you have a really big platform, you have a big audience. we're going to pay you to say certain things that you might not have said before the money came in. Maybe it's just me thinking that way, but maybe I'm not. Okay.
None of this is.
Let's hear from him right quick. And I might not be able to show all the video because they like to still do copyrights and stuff like this because of dinosaurs. But let's watch some of this.
I hope y'all know that none of this is normal. We are under a full authoritarian regime at this point. When you see journalists, being arrested for doing their jobs, when you see, the unconstitutional things that ICE agents are doing, we're just under full authoritarian regime.
Yeah.
I just need you to know that. And the only way to prevent this from fully taking over is to resist on all levels.
Absolutely.
I hope y'all know that none of this.
So when you say something like, we got resist on all, we got to go out there and resist on all levels. When you say something like that, you got that big deal. Do you think that comes from the big deal? Do you think that's something that he's being told to say? Because right here, I'm seeing your eyes. Are you reading? What are you reading? You're reading the Clear Channel memo that you got this morning. You came to work. Hey, you came to work. They had the talking points right there on your desk. Say that. I don't want to say that. Well, I don't want to pay you no $200 million. What you gonna do? If you don't want to say that, I don't want to pay your actual wage. So what we gonna do? Maybe he's just being authentic himself. But when you have that deal in the background and you say stuff like that, that's obviously inflammatory and straight up to the left, it sounds like you sold out. But I'm gonna sell out though. Okay. That's fine. All right. Let's keep on going here. Oh, this was crazy. This is crazy. Okay, so Joe Scarborough and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, Joe Scarborough made Marjorie sound like Elon Musk. Listen, Joe Scarborough is so dumb, so ignorant, he made Marjorie Taylor Greene sound like Elon Musk. Let's watch.
The people that went into the church, that were the protesters that went into the church, if under the Faith Act.
Faith Act.
If under the Faith Act. Faith, right.
Face.
Oh, face.
Faith, it's a federal law.
Oh, I thought it was, you've got to have faith because it was about church.
Well, the parishioners, the Christians have faith, and they were trying to have church, and Don Lemon and a bunch of activists came in and harassed them to the point children were crying.
Right. But what I'm saying is, whatever that act is, if it is the Face Act or the Faith Act or the Fake Act, whatever act it is, I think the people that went in and disturbed that church, if they want to prosecute them, then that's certainly, their right to consider that. The people that went.
The Faith Act. He's like, gotta have faith. Are we mentioning George Michael? Was that an 80s pop culture reference? Hey, Joe Scarborough, when did you check out of regular society? Like 1992 or something like this? Like, I don't really get it, bro. The Faith Act, and you are the lead guy. You're like the anchor. The big boss, or one of the big guys on TV over at MSNOW, I suppose now, MSNBC. You're one of the biggest guys, and you had no idea what the Faith Act was. Talking about something, the Faith Act. The Faith Act, what that mean? Okay, FAC is an acronym, actually, not faith. It's an acronym. It's not about churches. It's about the abortion centers and churches. See, you don't even know nothing about the law. And that's the problem right there. These people that go on TV don't know anything. Whatever they're told to say by their bosses, they're going to say it. And they're trusting that whatever they say is good, I suppose. And quite frankly, they don't even really care if it's good or if it's accurate because they're going to get paid regardless. Hey, all I got to do is sit here and say whatever they tell me. All I got to do is sit here and read a teleprompter and talk to my wife. Okay, cool. I'll do that for $20 million a year. That's how they do. So when you're watching these people, you're not really getting anything of substance. You're just getting whatever the corporate bosses tell you that you want to hear. That's it. Okay. You're getting an actor at best. All right. Now, here's Bill Maher himself on that show talking about dying. He was in Congress for real? Really? He was in Congress like that? Good grief. Hey, man. Whew. And Marjorie, we know how silly she was. She sounded like Elon Musk compared to how dumb he was. The Faith Act.
They arrested Don Lemon.
Somebody went, yes, like good. I don't know. I
didn't hear him.
It's not good
to
arrest him. I don't, you know.
Well, I'm going to say he violated the FACE Act. He went into a church, disrupted their worship, and then later in an interview compared them to white supremacists. That's not journalism. That's activism. I had an experience with Don Lemon.
But does it warrant getting arrested?
Yes, because it's on the books. It's illegal. It's on the books. You can't just say, I feel like he shouldn't have been arrested, therefore, nah. The law says what the law says, and it's not an obscure law.
Disrupting a worship service, stopping people's right to worship God, that is violation of the FACE Act. And under the Biden administration, pro-lifers were sent to prison up to 11 years for praying in front of an abortion clinic, and they were convicted under the FACE Act. So I don't think that's journalism. That's not First Amendment, going in and harassing people in the middle of church. And, you know, Don Lemon came to my office with the Tesla takedown guy that organized it, and we had to call Capitol Police.
Okay, but can we just...
There we go. Again, if you make her sound like she's like big brain, you know you're a moron at that point. Now, you got Stephen A. Smith with his take.
And whether you...
Stephen A., another one. Stephen A. is very good at what he does. Stephen A. Smith is a very good on-air talent. Not really a journalist per se. Not anymore. Maybe back in the day, but not too much anymore because he's too busy. Stephen A. Smith, you see him on TV every 2 seconds. When does he have time to do any kind of research? He will say whatever his team tells him to say. He watching like Brandon Tatum. That's where he gets his news from, which is a good source, but he is not doing anything himself. B. Tatum, me, other guys, we do our own research. We're not relying upon people on the outside to tell us things. He's relying upon third parties and not doing any research for himself.
And whether you like it or not, Don Lemon is a member of the press. Don Lemon has been in journalism for 30 years. Don Lemon worked at CNN for 17 years. And just because you don't have a specific organization that you're working for, that's where the word independence comes from. It doesn't mean that your journalism credentials are stripped. Not when you've been doing it for decades like him. This is straight BS what he's going through.
I'm a member of the press too. And there ain't no way in hell anybody in the field of journalism shouldn't be supporting Don Lemon today. And that's including anyone on the right.
Anybody in journalism. I'm not saying it was wise. I'm not saying I would have done it. I'm not saying he should have walked into a church to do interviews and stuff like that for a couple of minutes, but it don't warrant this. You support this, you don't support the First Amendment. You don't support freedom of the press. Don Lemon has been critical of me. I don't give a damn.
So, okay, if you don't think it was okay, if you don't support what he did, why? You just said he has freedom of press, First Amendment, freedom of speech. So I don't understand. See, you can't just make up penalties for things that you see fit to make penalties up for. Like you can't just say, well, that right there, that wasn't that bad. You shouldn't have got locked up. It shouldn't have been the thing. That's not how that works. I mean, that's just your feelings. I don't got nothing to do with the actual reality of the world in which you live. And the whole thing about you being a journalist for a long time, let me tell you something about the old journalists. Old media guys, old TV guys, Stephen A., etc. They're good at what they do. They're very good at what they do. But those skills don't always translate to what we do as YouTubers and independent guys. It doesn't really translate. It's not the same skill set. You have a good skill set of being prepared, being ready, traveling, speaking, working hard, grinding, talking a lot, and keeping your voice together. You have a good skill when it comes to that. You could be an outrageous person to be entertaining for people who watch ESPN. But when it comes to what we do, that real deep mental work, you don't got that because your energy is not focused on that. Let us do that. You just go out there and talk. Say whatever they tell you to say. Or you could just watch us. Watch us. Watch B. Tatum and listen to what he says. If you watch B. Tatum, he would have already told you what I'm telling you. He didn't already said that. Listen to us. Follow us if you want some You trying to go based off of what you think you know from your experience. But the truth is, when you were on ESPN, when you're on all these places, you're being instructed on what to say. You're watching basketball games and football games and giving commentary on it. And then when it comes to politics, you're not as sharp as you were when it comes to the sports. And it's okay because everybody can't do everything. That's just not the reality of in which we live. Now, here's Stephen A. again, talking about, talking about the plight of black conservatives, but at the same time saying he's not a black conservative. And that's that fence riding stuff. It's like, you know what? That's why you got to have guys who come out on their own independent platforms and they can say what they want to say. If you get on TV and give a whole spiel about what it's like to be a black conservative, but then say you're not one, you're trying to do the whole Don Lemon thing. Hey, you know what? I'm part of this group. I'm going in there with him. I got a microphone, but I'm not part of the group. Nah, either you're going to be with him or you're not. And if you're not, then you shouldn't have been in the church. You shouldn't have been in the staging area. You shouldn't have been kissing the organizer on the mouth, or pardon me, on her cheek. You shouldn't have kissed the organizer on the cheek if you're not part of the group. If you're part of the group, just say that with your whole chest. We're going to the church. We're going to go shut it down. We're going to do this. Either you in or out. The waffle in, fence riding, I don't respect it. But let's see what you got to say.
I am no black conservative, but I certainly understand why black conservatives get so heated when it comes to the issues of liberalism, because they see how they get labeled for their ideological beliefs and how they get denigrated. So the liberal can believe what the liberal wants to believe, and we can agree or disagree. But if a black conservative feels a certain way, they got to be a sellout to their community. They can't believe there's a better strategy to the economy. They can't believe there's a better strategy to addressing border issues. They can't believe there's a better strategy for affordability. Oh, no, it must be. And of course, they can't possibly disagree with some of the stuff that Trump is doing, like the latest nonsense that he put out there where he's blaming black folks and speaking about the issues of slavery and things of that nature as something that's been unfavorable to white people. Like that should be ignored, like history should be erased.
Guys like this, man, it's just too much fence riding, man. Too much emotionalism. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. The whole thing about what Trump said as far as the Civil Rights Act is that whites were harmed, and they were harmed. They were harmed. It's like, I don't know, man. People like this and others, they got this whole the whites are superior. Like that's what they think. I don't see anybody as being superior. I see that there are strengths and weaknesses from each race. And what I say is, whatever you got, whatever kind of skills you have, whatever color you are, black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe, use whatever you have to the maximum. If you don't have certain skills, learn it and do whatever you learn to the max. That's what I would say. This whole race thing, it's just dumb. The race-based stuff has got to go, whether it targets blacks, whites, or whoever. Civil rights should have been about all that racial stuff going out the window. It shouldn't have been, okay, now we're going to just make it to where we hate white people. That shouldn't be what's going on. If we're going to have a society in which we're not based on racism, then the race-based policy needs to end for everybody. Not just for black folks, but for white folks too. Because you don't want to harm black folks with a certain racial policy and end that to only harm the white folks with the same thing. That made no sense. Either we against race-based policy or we not. Again, the fence riding, I don't respect it. Now, let's keep going on here. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Where I want to go. Oh, speaking about slavery and stuff like that, Elie Mystal, the funny Afro guy, says that Don Lemon's arrest is a form of slavery. Now, I've not watched this. I want to see what he says. I want to see what he says. Okay, let's go ahead and let it rock.
It is an expression of white supremacy. And so when I look for constitutional justification for these arrests, it's obviously not in the Constitution. It's obviously not in the Constitution anymore. Because there was something in the original Constitution, that would have allowed them to arrest a black journalist like Don Lemon. And that was called the Fugitive Slave Clause in Article 4 of the original Constitution, which allowed the government to reclaim escaped property should that property have successfully made it to a free state. It is.
All right, there we go. So we went from Don Lemon violating the rights of churchgoers with others who were also arrested to saying that he could have been a runaway slave and got arrested that way, and that would have been something that was constitutional at one point. Hey, man, it must be exhausting getting up every day thinking about how to be the victim. How can I be a black victim today? How can I invoke the white man or slavery today? It's got to be exhausting. Like, for real, for real. I don't know, man. It sucks to live that way. It sucks to live that way. It does. Now, look, speaking about church stormings, now we got a synagogue that got stormed. Y'all playing games, but I already saw that coming. Anybody could have seen it coming, because when you do something like that, what Don Lemon did, you're going to have copycats, which is why you got to go ahead and just make him an example. Don't let it slide. Don't give him a little slap on the wrist. Nah, because if you give him a slap on the wrist, that'd be a signal to others. Hey, I could just do that and get away with it. So now, so a left-wing activist disrupted an event with Democratic House Rep Tom Suozzi at a Jewish temple in New York. Okay, let's check this out.
They're gonna touch me. Alex Preddy, Renee Joy, Keith Porter, Parody Law. These people were killed by ICE this month. You're gonna throw me out? These people, 9 people were killed by ICE this month, and you're throwing me out while I'm reading their names? How dare you?
Thank you.
You're funding our occupation. They're gonna touch me.
Bro, man, all of that for what? Like, what are you doing? Man, them Jays, mess with them Jays if you want to. Hey, look, don't come to certain places. Don't come to any Southern church. Baptist, black church, white church, don't come to any Southern church with that nonsense. And a synagogue, a temple, oh, bro, man, hey, you're going to go to Walmart and your credit card will not work. Man, y'all keep playing around people, man. You know what? And the thing about it is, I wouldn't be mad at that, because y'all keep playing with people like it's sweet, like they can't do nothing to you. I don't like that. I don't like this whole one-way aggression. Okay, you do something to somebody, and when you get something done to you, now you want to be the victim. Nah. Don't mess with people. Stop playing with people. Don't go to their church, synagogue, mosque, and interrupt and scream. Because when you have some kind of issue in your life as a result of that, now you want to start crying. Don Lemon. Oh, I got locked up, middle of the night, 11:30 p.m. Oh, I was so scared. This guy tried to go to Target and using his Chase debit card, I think it's not going to work. And insufficient funds. I just got paid. Hey, I don't know what to tell you. Figure it out. Anyway, let's keep on going here. So, did you see Joe Rogan commented on the Photoshop situation? Well, not Photoshop, AI. Okay. And I showed him years ago where that video got changed by CNN. They put the gray filter on them. But it made him, Alex Preddy, look pretty.
Did you see what MSNBC did to his image?
Yeah. Where they gussied it up?
Did the opposite of what CNN did to me. CNN during the COVID times turned me green, and they made me ugly and look like I was dying, and they made him handsome.
Yeah.
So people would be more sympathetic to him getting shot, which is kind of wild. Like, are ugly people less valuable to MSNBC?
Less marketable?
That is crazy to me. Like, look at the difference.
Yeah.
Look at the difference. They shortened up his face. They gave him a little bit of a tan. They widened his face a little bit, it seems like. They just made him a little handsomer.
Yeah,
a little hotter.
They gave him a bit of that Chad jaw, didn't they?
They shrunk his nose a little too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They shrunk his nose.
Yeah.
Gave him a little bit of a handsome jaw. So he looks like an
Even
American.
made him. If you look at the shoulders, it even looks like they may have plumped up the shoulders there a bit.
A little bit. Yeah, the one on the right looks like he's a little plumper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they changed the tone of the color. Wild. I mean, they changed his fucking teeth, man.
Communist News
Look,
Network.
they gave him veneers.
Yeah.
Look at the difference in his teeth. He's a much more handsome guy. Like that one on the right is like the handsome brother. And the one on the left is like, fuck!
Yeah.
Why couldn't I look like
the
my
one on the
goddamn
right,
brother?
Yeah, the one on the right, they were twins and he took more of the protein.
Right.
That was what happened.
There you go. So shout out to Joe Rogan, and that's actually Andrew Wilson. That's funny. Shout out to CGA. Shout out to CGA. That's actually Andrew Wilson right there. But yeah, everything you said, I said too, with the whole made man look ugly and gray, and then they gave the other guy a beauty treatment, gave him veneers, all kind of stuff. And then and the bigger, I guess you would say, they show more of the chest and all that. The shoulders even changed. Got broader shoulders. They made him more handsome. That's exactly what happened. Now, speaking about making guys more handsome, Luigi Mangione, did you guys see that story? Hold on. There's not a video with that, I don't think, but okay. So one of y'all men out there tried to free Luigi Mangione from the penitentiary. One of y'all men did that. I don't know who it was. If you're watching this chat, bro, I don't know what's going on with you, man. Like, okay, I understand a woman who might be a little bit silly and likes the way Luigi Mangione looks. I can see her doing something like that. Okay, I get it. Some crazy lady that likes him, she do something like that. But a man, bro, why are you trying to free Luigi Mangione? Do you find him attractive? Do you want to be his husband, his boyfriend? What's going on with you, bro? So look, this is a real story. I'm not making this up. I got a source. Hold on. Let me just pull up some images here so you can see what I'm talking about, okay? So it'll all make sense. Okay. I gotta pull up a few images and the article. So I'll give you 1 second. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that helps tremendously. Okay, hold on. All right. Let me do it this way. There we go. Okay, dokie. So let me show you this image, and then I'm going to explain to you what's going on. Okay? Now, what you're looking at, let me just read this. A Minnesota man identified as Mark Anderson allegedly attempted to break Luigi Mangione out of the penitentiary by impersonating an FBI agent. He was reportedly armed with a barbecue fork and what appeared to be a pizza cutter and was quickly arrested and charged with impersonating a federal agent. I am not making this up, I swear. And as you can see on the screen before you, there's the barbecue knife. There's the fork, pardon me, the barbecue fork, his ID, I suppose. Okay. And then a pizza cutter. Now, bro, what were you thinking about when you did something like this? What are you thinking about? Now, look, right there, I guess that's him. That's his ID. It's kind of hard to see. Minnesota, of course, because I don't know what's going on. I think that's like the white liberal haven right now, Minnesota. So they do things like this. It's kind of hard to see that picture of his face. So I got a better picture. You ready? I have a better picture of the perp. All right, let's go check it. There you go, right there. That's the perp right there with the pizza cutter and the barbecue fork. There you go. That's him. Okay. Hey, listen to me now. The only part I made up is his picture, but that story I told you is real. Matter of fact, hold on. We got an article. Man arrested on charges of impersonating an FBI agent in an alleged attempt to free Luigi Mangione. This is CNN, January 29th. This is what, on Thursday. Let's read it a little bit. So, a Minnesota man was arrested and charged with impersonating an FBI agent after he tried to enter a federal jail and release suspected. Well, he did it. Luigi Mangione, according to law enforcement sources. Mark Anderson, 36 years old, arrived at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York on Wednesday. So he traveled from it. So he left Minneapolis, or I suppose Minnesota, and went to New York. Anyway, Mark Anderson, 36, arrived at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York on Wednesday evening, claiming he was an FBI agent with a court order for Mangione's release, according to a criminal complaint filed Thursday and law enforcement source. When officials with the Bureau of Prisons asked the man for credentials, according to the complaint, the man provided a Minnesota driver's license. He also allegedly stated that he had weapons in his bag. Anderson then allegedly threw paperwork at the BOP officers. The papers appeared to be related to legal claims against Justice Department, according to the FBI agent who signed the complaint. Prison officials searched Anderson's backpack, according to the complaint, and found the barbecue fork and the pizza cutter. Hey, man, look. I don't know what's going on with y'all out there in Minnesota. I don't know what they put in the water and they spraying something in the air, but y'all need to get up out of there and get some fresh air because y'all going crazy. Bro, you traveled from Minnesota. Did you drive to New York from Minnesota? I don't know what kind of crack you're smoking or what's in the air, but please stop. Please stop. All right. Hey, you cannot make this stuff up. I promise. CNN.com, you can look it up yourself. Don't take my word for it. Do not take my word for it. All righty, there we go. So shout out to that guy. Okay. Let's keep going here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, this is going to be House Rep Laura Gillen, a Democrat, of course. Where is she from? She is from New York. Okay. New York's fourth congressional district. Laura Gillen, a Democrat. Okay. She says that sending Haitians to Haiti is a death sentence. Let's watch.
Sending these people back to Haiti is basically a death sentence. And that's why we are asking the administration to open up their hearts and to extend this TPS. Sending these people back to Haiti is basically a death sentence. Okay.
Sending Haitians back to Haiti is a death sentence, according to this. Okay, what's her name? I'm messing up. Laura Gillen, House Rep Laura Gillen from New York. Okay. Hey, but remember this? Hold on. Remember this? Remember that? I remember. Remember when Trump said something about SO countries and all this and that? And then you get all the late night talk show guys. No, Haiti's great. Haiti's beautiful. I love Haiti. Remember that? But now all of a sudden it's a death sentence to go to Haiti. So which one is it? Make your mind up. It's a beautiful place that everybody wanted to go to, or a death sentence. Which one is it? I'm just having a hard time figuring it out. Can y'all help me out? Because I'm just a little bit lost. A teach bit lost. I don't really understand. I don't get it. Anyway, shout out to them. Let's keep going. Now, New York. Shout out to Mayor Mamdani. 10 people died in a deep freeze in a homeless encampment that should have been destroyed. Okay. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that article right quick. Let me see now. This will do. Yeah, there we go. So, you see what it says? Critics push Mamdani in New York City to do more to force homeless into shelters after 10 die in a deep freeze. So it says, hold on. At least 6, it's kind of hard to see. At least 6 out of 10 New Yorkers found dead outdoors during the city's Arctic deep freeze were homeless, Mayor Zohran Mamdani revealed Wednesday as critics called on him to step up and take on action. Okay, so you got 10 people dead in a deep freeze. Now, let's see what's happening on the streets. The good old streets of Gotham City. No Batman. Hey, Gotham City, no Batman. New Yorkers, is that normal? Is that how y'all live? Is that normal? To have just piles of garbage on the ground like that, just on the side of the building? And of course you're going to have rats in there. You already got a roach and rat problem. That ain't nothing but a big food source. There's no way. Listen, there's all kind of things they're trying to do to stop the rat issue in New York, but ain't nothing going to work because you got all this food source. You kill one rat with a trap, 100 more are going to be one of them bags. And you got dozens, if not hundreds of bags right there on that one block. I don't really understand. New York, I guess it's cool for some people, New York City. But to me, it's just too much happening in one place. It's too dense. It's too dense population-wise. I need to be more spread out. Atlanta is New York, but spread out. That makes it great. Now, some don't like it because they say it's boring because they can't just walk outside their house and go to something like a lecture or something like this or a Broadway show because it's not so dense, though. People like to have people around them all the time. I don't really like that all the time. I like to have a little bit of privacy. I live in an area where we have neighbors that are kind of close by. That's cool. But to have neighbors be like 10,000 in the building, that's a little bit too much for me. That's like kind of like India in some parts. Now, let's keep on going here. All right. So what's the next one that we're going to do? So this is Governor Hochul of New York saying that 50% of New Yorkers are on Medicaid. Am I reading that right? 50%, half of New Yorkers are on Medicaid, according to the governor, Kathy Hochul. Check it out.
So all these programs, whether it's the nutrition programs, half of my budget, or a large percent of my budget is Medicaid. Half of New Yorkers are on Medicaid.
And those are lower income New Yorkers. Do you believe that the wealthy are paying their fair share in New York State?
Well, these are seniors also and children. And so, we've been able to manage, but now Donald Trump takes $3 billion out in 1 year and $750 million last year. So that's what's hard to manage. The incoming from Washington, we budget. We set aside money. We look at how much is coming and we manage ourselves. We've been doing this for years. And then I've got the Trump administration just yanking the money that had always been there. And it's supported by the federal tax dollars that these wealthy people are also sending to Washington that should be coming back to us. So we'll continue the conversation. So all these.
I mean, at the end of the day, you cannot just keep taxing and spending, taxing and spending, taxing and spending. Tell me something, pay their fair share. What is a fair share? What is a fair share? And the media, they always lie about the taxes. They'll say, oh, well, Elon Musk pays no taxes. Donald Trump pays no taxes. If anybody believes that, you're just not very smart. If anyone believes that Donald Trump pays no taxes, man, look, I have a pyramid in Atlanta, Georgia to sell you right now. If you believe that Elon Musk and Donald Trump do not pay taxes, I have a pyramid bigger than Egypt, bigger than the Mayans. I got the biggest pyramid in the world right there in Boulder Crest, right there in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, to sell you right now if you believe that. It's not true. It's not reality. It's not reality. They say Elon Musk paid from one person the most taxes ever in US history ever. Like 11 billion in 1 year, some stupid amount. Some stupid amount. You can only keep trying to pinch from the rich folks so much before they say, you know what, no more. And they already been doing it. The old folks, they go to Florida. You're not going to rob me at my advanced age. I done worked hard all my life, sacrificed blood, sweat, tears, and you're going to rob me at 75, 80, 85 years old? You're out of your mind. I'm going to Florida ASAP. And you go down to certain parts of Florida, all you hear is, I'm walking here. That's all you hear in certain parts of Florida all day long. Because why? They're getting robbed by New York. And it's cold. Man, look, I'm going to go down to a warm place where I don't get robbed financially. That's it. Now, here is Mom Donnie trying to point the finger at Eric Adams for New York City budget deficit. Hold on. Let me say, I got to say the right thing. So there's a $12 billion hole in the budget. And Mom Donnie's trying to blame Eric Adams for leaving the hole in the budget. But there's a different reason why the hole is there. But let's watch.
New York City is facing a serious fiscal crisis. There is a massive fiscal deficit in our city's budget to the tune of at least $12 billion. We did not arrive at this place by accident. This crisis has a name and a chief architect. In the words of the Jackson 5, it's as easy as ABC. This is the Adams budget crisis. In 2025, under New York...
All right, so blame Eric Adams, right, for the $12 billion budget issue. The truth is, it's the migrants that did that. Because remember, Eric Adams warned of this back in, I believe, 2023, 2024, Eric Adams warned of this because of all the migrants coming in. And that was a big issue that I think pushed Eric Adams to be more moderate. New York City was getting flooded with migrants at one point, and it was so expensive that they had to cut city services. They had to do something to fix the issue. But let's watch Eric Adams from back then. This is, I believe, 2023. Yep.
No support.
This is September 23, where Eric Adams warned of this budget issue.
No support. And let me tell you something, New Yorkers. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. One time we were just getting Venezuela. Now we're getting Ecuador. Now we're getting Russian speaking coming through Mexico. Now we're getting Western Africa. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City. And everyone is saying it's New York City's problem. Every community in this city is going to be impacted. We had a $12 billion deficit that we're going to have to cut. Every service in this city is going to be impacted.
$12 billion deficit because of why? The migrants. He was trying to say, look, what are we going to do? It's the migrants. It's not my fault. The issue is still there. So you got Zoran trying to blame Eric Adams when really it's the Democratic Party's fault for allowing the border to be wide open. Again, this is 2023. This is before Trump came in. So a big part of Eric Adams kind of leaning more toward Trump is because of the issue of the migrant crisis that Biden and his team were refusing to address. Eric Adams went to the White House when Biden was in office to speak on this, to try to find a way to fix it. And as he was on the plane, they raided his assistant at her house. See, that's a warning right there. It's like, all right, you want to keep playing games? You want to keep talking about the migrants? Well, good luck. Good luck with that. We're going to ruin you. And that's what happened. Now you got Zoran Mamdani. Hey, politics, dirty game, ain't it? But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, to the taxes. In northern, this is these tax increases in Virginia are coming from Northern Virginia. Let me tell you something about Virginia. I'm a Virginia guy. Ancestral home, born and raised, Virginia, West Virginia. That's me. I look at West Virginia as one big place. I've been all over the whole, from west to east and east to west in West Virginia, Virginia. I know about Virginia very well. The issue of all the liberals, high taxes, it comes from Northern Virginia. Once you get past Fredericksburg, up that way, that's where all the problems are. And the big reason why there's so many issues is because there's a big government worker class right there. Government workers typically do not want to have small government. Why? Because that'll affect their job. Not even about politics per se, but they want to keep their job. You saw what happened when we came in, when you had Elon that came in with Doge and cut a bunch of these jobs. Yeah, see, that's why they don't want us to be in there, because we do stuff like that. But the Democrats will expand it. Now, since you got all these rich liberals, getting that government money, they're now doing things that are going to impact Virginia negatively, raising taxes, taxing everything, and not just in a little Northern Virginia enclave of, Arlington, not just that, but the entire state will suffer. But let's watch.
Here's a list of the many tax increases and proposals Democrats in Virginia are considering passing. They include additional local sales tax in all Virginia counties and cities, new personal property tax on electric leaf blowers and electric landscaping equipment, large employer tax, gun and ammunition tax, new income tax brackets, a delivery tax. This would hit you if you make an order on Amazon, Uber Eats or an order that includes UPS, FedEx, delivery, etc. here in Northern Virginia. There's also a tax they're looking at for events, concerts, an investment income tax, storage facility tax, gym membership tax, dog walking tax, dog grooming tax, counseling tax, digital personal property tax, new car taxes and highway use fees, an increase in the hotel tax here in Arlington. Statewide speed cameras. Now, these aren't taxes, but they would include more fines for some drivers, dry cleaning tax, home repair tax, and a vehicle repair.
Dry cleaning tax, dog grooming tax, counseling tax. So, okay, watch this. I'm having a hard time, going through a tough patch in my life. I want to call somebody. All right, well, check it out. Yeah, I can do that, but I gotta tax you. I gotta tax me right now in my moment of vulnerability. I gotta pay a tax because I'm going through a. That's what liberals do. That is Democratic policy for you. So if you're in Virginia, hey, I'm sorry, but I saw the writing on the wall many years ago. I saw this coming because I saw, again, as I said many times before, when I was a kid, I would watch the news. I would watch the elections. I'm 8 years old watching the election, and I saw us as a red state. You would say on the map, you red. Throughout the years, I saw it change. I monitored the progression of Virginia from a red state to a purple state to a blue state. And the key difference between the way it was when I was a kid until now is the government getting bigger. That is the only reason. The growth is in Northern Virginia. It's some good growth, I suppose, but I mean, at what cost though? At what cost the rest of the state? If anything, you should just annex Northern Virginia into Maryland, or have that be its own state, because it's too much of an influence on the rest of Virginia. Now, some are going to say, hey, well, without Northern Virginia, y'all couldn't eat. Well, how about this, though? Let's talk about, let me give you an example of why that's wrong. There is a place called Bristol, Virginia, and a place called Bristol, Tennessee. It's the same place, like Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas. You got Bristol 10 and Bristol, VA. Now, again, it's the same city. It's just divided by the line of the state line. Now, Bristol, Virginia at one point went bankrupt, but Bristol, Tennessee did not go bankrupt. So why did the Tennessee part of Bristol remain solvent, but the one in Virginia go bankrupt? What happened? Oh, ABL, without Northern Virginia, you guys will go broke. Oh, okay. All right. The policy is most important. Without Northern Virginia, we'd be just fine in the rest of Virginia. I promise you that. We'd be just fine. All right. Now, here's the whole thing about California and their tax. They're going to tax you on for just driving your vehicle. All right. Let me just show this right quick.
So the people here protesting against ICE have absolutely no idea that their rights were completely violated yesterday by the California state legislature. In the assembly, the Democrats, by a simple majority vote, voted to advance a potential per mile tax. Yeah, that's not a conspiracy theory. That's not a rumor. They just tasked a California Transportation Commission to come up with recommendations by 2027 to be able to implement a per mile tax that would charge you 2 to 9 cents for every single mile that you drive. And you know why that's insane? Because we're talking about families of 2 or maybe even 3 paying an extra of $1,200 to $4,200 every single year just to drive, depending on how that estimation ends up coming out. So you are going to be punished by the government for needing to fulfill work and familial obligations. Add on top of that the fact that the U.S. House decided that cars that are made past 2026 should continue to have kill switches in them. This was a decision that was made by the Biden administration, and it really irritates me. It should irritate the American people, because imagine if in a state like California, they sent you your quarterly or your monthly billing for the per mile tax and you refuse to pay it. Then they're gonna what? Kill switch your car? Oh yeah, no, you're not paying your per mile tax. Uncle Sam didn't get his money. Now you don't get to drive. The worst part of all that is we're supposed to trust them with our money. I mean, a report just came out that we threw $236 million or something at a homelessness program that was run by, Newsom.
Of course. Now, shout out to my man right here. You guys are funny in the comments about some Kim Pool. That's not very nice. But shout out to the guy right there. Good speaker. Now, look, let me explain, as I did earlier, why this is happening. Why they're trying to charge you per mile. What they say, up to $4,200. Up to $4,200 per year. The reason why they're doing that is because in California, there's a really big push for EVs. They want you to drive an EV. They don't want you to have your gas-powered vehicle. It's talking about, emissions and the environment. Okay, cool. So it's a big push right now for EVs. What they did not anticipate was all the cash they would lose from the gas tax. When you go to your gas station, your regular gas-powered vehicle, and you put a gallon of gas, each gallon is taxed. And that is a big fund they rely on. When there's so many EVs on the road, that fund dwindles. Now it's like, okay, we gotta do something because these roads got to get maintained. We got to keep spending this money. So how do they make it up? Okay, let's charge them to drive their car. You get a bill. Now, my question is, how they going to know how fast, how they going to know how far I've driven? What's it going to be, an inspection? Like I said, I'm not saying I'm going to roll the odometer back, but I might. I might do that. Because how are you going to charge me for driving my own car? And it defeats the purpose of having an electric vehicle because I'm trying to save on gas, but you still try to make me pay gas at a certain point. When you look at it from the power I must consume in my vehicle, the electricity that I got to consume in my vehicle, you're going to raise the rates for that because you got all the EVs on the grid and everybody on their phone doom scrolling, data centers, all that kind of stuff will cause the power bill to go up. So now I'm charging the vehicle. It's going to cost more for the electricity. Then I got to pay the mileage tax. Once I look at the mileage tax and the electricity, how much is that compared to a regular gas-powered vehicle? Plus the maintenance, how much would that be? When you look at it, at the end of the day, you got more money you're going to spend. And on top of that, EVs have a low rate. They got a low value on. They got low resale value. So you're going to spend more ultimately messing with the EV. So no thanks, I'm good. I am super good on the EVs. Don't worry about it. It is okay. It is okie dokie. Hold on. Marsha says an EV charger can cost up to $3,000 just to install. Just to install it. See? I don't got to worry about that when I'm dealing with my regular internal combustion engine vehicle. I don't got to worry about no installer, no charger to install in my house. Nah. I just go to the gas station and I put 87 in there, 87 regular. I paid $2.25, 87 regular for a gallon. I got an F-150. It don't need no super fancy. It's cool. I put 87 in there. It run beautiful. I don't got to worry about all the extra stuff that they got going on. Okay. Let's keep going here. We got Gavin right quick. Pink man bad. He's pink. Yes, he is. You know, all this about white man and this, that, and the third. It's like, you got Trump, he orange, and Gavin is pink. Where's the white man? I don't know. ABL, that's racist. It's not. Because, okay, what do you call that right there? And the thing about it is, that's not a natural color. I don't know how you do that. Like, what is that all about? Is that high blood pressure? Is that a tanning bed? What's going on, bro? You all right?
You can't work with him. Ask the mayor of D.C. No one worked harder to have a relationship with him, and she just had her police force federalized. You only work for him. I'm not going to work for Donald Trump. UCLA is not going to sell their soul like Harvard or Brown or Penn or Columbia. Shame on all of them. We're not. And we're going to fight like hell. You can't.
All right, there we go. Pink man bad, Gavin Newsom. Hey, would you like Gavin to be your next president? I know y'all not going to want to do that, but some people will want that guy right there to be the president. And man, look, I ain't trying to have no neon marker on my TV screen talking at me like that, man. Max Headroom with a neon paint job. I don't want that, bro. I'm good. I'm not into that. All right, now, for my LA people and Minnesota, but LA, what's in the drinking water? Is there something there making y'all act crazy like that in the streets?
I've been in California for about maybe 4 hours, and I've come to the conclusion that there is estrogen in the water supply, and all the males are full of estrogen. Women are also full of testosterone. So, something's going on in the water. This place is a fucking nightmare. I've been in.
All right, there we go. So, you know what? Something's wrong with LA. I've been to LA a couple of times. I'm not really an LA guy. You know, maybe it's just me being a Southerner. I suppose a mid-Southerner. Maybe that's just me and my bias. I don't know, but I'm not really a big LA fan. Racist, very racist out there. If you're a black person, they're going to ignore you. Hey, try to go. If you go to LA looking like me, I look like, I don't know. Maybe I look like a bum to them. I don't know. Maybe whenever they see tall black guy, they're thinking criminal, racist, expensive, people are crazy. It's a lot of extra stuff going on. Homelessness everywhere, garbage everywhere. And then once you get to the places where it's not like that, you got a bunch of that soy boy activity going on. I don't know. If you're in LA, God bless you, but I don't know how you do it. Hey, if you live in LA and you enjoy it, you're better than me. You are better than me. I can't do nothing with it. I'll tell you what. All right, let's keep going. Novel idea. This is what I've been saying. A lot of us been saying it. If you don't mess with ICE and stay out of the way, you have no worries.
ICE just drove by. They came and arrested somebody. Nobody blew whistles. Nobody boxed them in. And most importantly, nobody got hurt. You ever notice how they leave you alone if you leave them alone? Just saying.
Exactly. I've been saying that with police, ICE, any law enforcement. If you are not doing anything wrong, if you leave them alone, you'll be just fine. Why is anybody out there protesting, talking about ICE is this and ICE is that? ICE, from what I'm able to see, nice guys, funny, but they're just enforcing the law. That's it. I've never in all my years, 41 years of living, have I ever had issue with the police because I don't behave in the way that would cause a problem. You know, and I'd have been in the South. I'd have been South Georgia. Listen, I'd have been South Georgia, cotton fields on the side of the road, all of that. Never had a problem, ever. Because I'm cool. I don't bother nobody. I'm minding my business. I'm not saying there's nobody racist in this country, in the South, whatever. But usually, 99 times out of 100, when you are just doing the right thing, you don't got nothing to worry about. From law enforcement, that is. Now, from regular normies, on the other hand, it's a little bit different. Hey, around some of you people, not you guys watching, but around some of these people, like in LA, hey man, I'm looking over my shoulder. Now, speaking about California, we got our guy Nick, our nephew Nick Shirley out there in San Diego, pulling up on a Somali daycare center out there. It's not just Minnesota, it is nationwide. I know what they're going to say. Oh, he's picking on them. Nick Shirley goes everywhere and covers everything. He is not afraid. He's a guy out there on a mission. So this is the woman's video of Nick pulling up to the address of a so-called daycare center.
It's Nick Sherry, our state, guys. Look.
Says there's 14 children enrolled here.
You don't care. This is my daycare.
Then where are the children?
You don't care.
Where are the children at?
It's not enough, Minnesota. You come here. It's not enough. It's
Actually, no, it's not enough. We got to cover all the fraud. We got to cover all the fraud to uncover all the fraud. It's nationwide and worldwide. Not just Minnesota. The Leering Center, that's cool. It's the meme, but really this is a problem all over the country. So shout out to Nick Shirley for not just, hanging it up, letting it go at Minnesota. No, it's not enough. We want more because we want all the fraud to get eliminated. Not from Somalis, not just from Somalis, but from everybody, from everyone. So yeah, shout out to Nick Shirley out there doing the Lord's work. My man right here says, hey, ICE, you better stay away from LA or else you got to do with me.
If ICE comes to LA, I mean, they're already here, in little batches, but if they come here like they did in Minnesota, acting like that shit, ICE agents are going to die. I'm calling it right now. New York, too. You motherfuckers are gonna die in the streets. I hope you're ready for that shit. I hope you're ready to get trampled. Fucking ripped apart.
All right, so Big Tough Guy saying, hey, you want to come down to LA with the Minnesota stuff, you're going to die in the street. Well, look, first of all, I'm on the phone. Hey, Pam Bondi, we got one. Hey, Pam Bondi, Cash, whoever, we got one right here. You already see what's going on. I can find them. But beyond that, it's like, bro, for what though? For what? And then plus, ICE already been to LA. I mean, you got to run it back to get everybody else. But they already been in LA. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Why take pride in being a violent and dangerous place? Even without ICE, I'm not going to LA. I'm not trying to get myself deleted by some dope feet on the street. I'm not trying to do that. Your downtown area of Los Angeles, inhospitable. Inhospitable. I wouldn't go out there if you paid me. I was reading a lot about downtown LA, and somebody was saying that they work down there, like they do like outside work, and they had caught some kind of infection on their leg just from being out there. I mean, it's, y'all got bigger fish to fry than worrying about ICE. How about stopping all the crack smoke, the meth smoke, the heroin usage, and cleaning up Skid Row? How about that? That should be your primary focus, not ICE. Not ICE at all.
So should we asking people that are providing us services?
Okay, so here's a question. Would you go to a restaurant, a hotel, anywhere where you're being provided a service and ask the person who's giving you the service who they voted for? Would you do that? Let's watch.
So should we start normalizing asking people that are providing us services, like our dentists, our nurses, anyone that provides a service to us, our servers at a restaurant, just exactly who they voted for, and then let that be the determining factor of whether or not we do business with them? Like, just shunning people, shun them from our society. Just a thought.
Okay, now look, I don't care who you voted for. I really don't care. And at a certain point, I can tell. If I go to Starbucks, I'm not a Starbucks guy, but if I go to Starbucks, I already know what's going on. If I see you behind the counter, I'm like, okay, cool. I like that. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Give me the ultimate they, them in there, because one thing they can do, hey, they can pour some coffee. I tell you what, that's the expert coffee pourer. If they got a septum ring, if they have blue hair, green hair, pink hair at the same time, sherbet color, multicolor, rainbow color, LGBT flag in the hair color. If she got that going on and a little bonus, a little pudge right there, you know what I'm saying? A belly, but no baby in the belly. You understand what I'm saying? If she got that going on, the coffee going to be just scrumdiddlyumptious. I tell you what. So yeah, I don't even really care at a certain point who you voted for in that scenario. Why do you care about who I voted for? Why does it matter who I voted for? What you should worry about is, will I get good service? Will the food be good? I don't care about your personal politics. That don't really matter. That's of no importance to me. But yeah, shout out to you. I mean, that's got to be kind of a bad way to live. You got to worry about who I'm voting for before you do it with me. Don't worry about that. Just worry about, will I give you a good service? Okay? Hey, if I'm in the Uber, all I want is for Muhammad to drive me safely from the airport to my hotel. That's all I worry about. Hey, Muhammad, can you please drive safe? I don't care about where he's from originally. I don't care about who he voted for. I don't care about nothing. Get me from the airport to the telly safe. That's it. But yeah, shout out to her and the cab driver Muhammad.
It's gonna.
All right. Now this person says, you know what? Once they get back in power, meaning the liberals get back in power. Once the left gets back in power, then they go door to door to search for the MAGAs. They'll go door to door to search for the MAGAs, the Trump supporters, the ICE agents, all the things. Okay, let's check it out.
It's gonna really suck for the red hats when the shoe is on the other foot and people start going door to door asking if they voted for Trump in the last round or if they still support MAGA. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that make you feel threatened? You think social punishment ain't a thing? You think everybody's ready to do all this again in another 40, 50 years or however long it takes them? If you guys were to use any critical thinking skills and take a look around for 2 seconds, you would realize that numbers-wise, y'all are screwed. It wouldn't matter how much firepower y'all had. It would not matter how much you guys tried to run. I mean, January 6th was a prime example of how crappy everything is and falling apart. Oh, that was just a test run. Yeah, the test run looked like shit. Your leaders couldn't even cover for their own ass correctly. The way they redacted those files. Makes sense, though. Y'all just love the patriarchy, and we all know how common weaponized incompetence is within patriarchy. How does it feel to know that the head orange toad basically has to be cleaned up after every about 10 minutes from...
Okie dokie, so there we go. First of all, if you're the kind of person that's like in this bubble, this echo chamber of I hate Trump all day, I mean, that's not very good to do that because you're always miserable all the time. Me, I love laughing and joking every single day. That's pretty much what I do. Okay? I'm a comedian that knows a little bit about politics. That's pretty much what I am. But here's my question to those who say they're going to go door to door looking for the MAGAs. We are the ones that are armed. We are the ones that got a little bit of training more than anybody else. We are the law enforcement, your first responders. That's us. Okay, you're not going to find many leftist guys who hate the MAGAs who will go door to door and do what you're saying. So you're not in you have no advantage here. And we don't want to have any kind of conflict. So imagine saying that you want to start a conflict with people that don't want to start conflict with you, but you're the good guy. Because why? Because you feel a certain way. You're mad about Donald Trump. You're in a Facebook group and you get told bad things all day long. Do not do that. Just stay home. Okay. Scroll your internet, watch your Netflix, and chill. And let the adults in the room be the adults in the room. Simple as that. But yeah, shout out to her. Shout out to her. Okie dokie. Oh yeah, white privilege. Hey, do we still have white privilege? Is that still do we still have white privilege in 2026? Is that really a thing? Was it ever a thing? Let's watch.
Hey, what are you telling your kids about white privilege? For real, seriously, I ask now. Like, it's not something that I learned about growing up, right? It's not something that anyone really talked about when I was growing up. So what are we telling our kids now? Just wanted you to think about it. I'm thinking about it. Let me know what you're doing. I have some thoughts.
Okay, so I like, hey, you asked the question, I answered the question. There's nothing to say about white privilege, and it's not really a thing. It's not really a thing. So what are you going to say? Ain't nothing to say. Okay, maybe you could talk about it in an historical context. I guess some people thought it was white privilege at a certain point, but 2026, it's not about white, black, or whatever. It's about your economic viability. Can you make money? Do you have skills? Are you talented? That's it. Are you in good physical health? Who you are as a person matters now more than anything else. Your race, it comes secondary, tertiary. It's not even really a factor. I mean, it can be to those who are racist, or if you just not racist, if you want to like have like some kind of romantic connection, I guess, and you like white women or you like white men, that's something totally different. But being able to function in the country, your race is no longer important. The most important thing is you as an individual. So I would tell my kids, if I had them, I would tell them that you focus on you. Don't worry about nobody's race, skin color. Focus on you, and that's it. So what do y'all say to people about white privilege? To your kids about white privilege, what do you tell them? Is it really your thing? When you're talking about how they can do well in their country, not just survive, but how can they succeed in the country? How can they do well in the country? It shouldn't be about race. It should be about them as an individual person. That's what I say. What do y'all think? Yeah, exactly, Mr. King. Have value. Be a good person. Be educated. Stay in school. Read books. Research. Be open-minded to a certain extent. Not to everything now. Okay? Let's just a little bit open-minded. When somebody comes to you and say, hey, I identify as a pet dinosaur. What do you identify as? That's where you can be a little less open-minded, okay? Because if somebody says, I'm a dinosaur, don't just take that and be like, yeah, you know what? You are a dinosaur. Nah. Let's live in reality, but be open to different ideas that are based in reality. That's all I would say. All right.
Hey, I better not find out any of my family.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I almost forgot. So she's saying that if she finds out a family member is in ICE, she's going to dox them.
Hey, I better not find out any of my family members are working for ICE, because I will dox you. I will dox you. So, if you're out there and you're related to me and you work for ICE, you better hope I don't find out, because I'm gonna dox you. Hey,
Okay, you know what? That's not very nice. A family member working for ICE, you're going to dox them over that? Because your own family, your own flesh and blood, who you at one point might have been really good friends with, it might have been close, it might have grew up together as kids, playing in the sandbox, going to school together, you're going to tell on them because they work for ICE? Why would you do that? And you know what? I always say, well, I've said it quite a bit. I don't know if I always say it, but I've said it quite a bit. You will be done wrong by an acquaintance, a family member, someone you know before a total stranger all the time, every single time. Hey, I keep my circle this big because I've been betrayed so many times by people, and it just be to the point now where I expect it from some people. Now, you got some good, solid people in your life. That's always a good thing. If you got solid people in your life, keep them. But some are not going to be solid. Even in my own family, I'm going to tell a quick story, but I ain't going to say too much because I know people are watching and they're going to tell because y'all like to tell. Anyway, so I had one of my guys in my family call me asking me weird questions, like really weird questions. I'm like in my mind thinking, I know that he's not trying to tell on me. He's not trying to get me incriminated. The questions were so crazy, it was like he was wearing a wire. I was like, were you trying to tell on me? Like, ever since then, I talk to him no more. I be getting texts, oh, we're family, we should still talk. No, I'm good, bro. I'm good. You trying to tell on me, and you know, and the craziest thing is, they know I'm not the bad guy. I'm always going to be the good guy. I'm always the guy that did right. I never been no trouble. I was always, like, when I was 12 years old, they gave me a coding book. That's how I'm talking about. They gave me a coding book when I'm 12 years old. They knew that I was not on that stuff. So why would you call me later talking about, oh, were you over here? Were you over there? Did you do this? You know, if you know me, that I would never. So yeah, people like that I hate because you're just trying to hurt those close to you so you feel better about your own self. But I don't want to go down that road, so I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. Now, going back to the LA protest, we got Mad Max, Maxine Waters. She was not pleased with the energy out there. They were not really, they weren't doing enough chanting, not enough ranting and raving, hooting and hollering. So she got out of the vehicle to hype the crowd up. Okay. Again, Maxine Waters, all of 1,000 years old. Check it out.
What is he gonna do? Come on, ice out of LA. 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 Ice out of LA.
All right, there we go. So Maxine Waters hyping the crowd up at 87 years old. Is she still in Congress? Like wait a minute. Yes, she is still in Congress right now at 87 years old. 88 on August 16th, August 15th, pardon me, 2026. She was born in 1938. I mean, good night. Term limits now. Please, oh, please, oh, please. But you know, the craziest part is that she was the most fit person out there. At 87 years old, she was the most fit out there out of all them young people. That's crazy. That is totally crazy. But hey, it is what it is. Let's keep going. I got like no more time. That's crazy. I feel like I just sat down. Oh, a little bit of good news, but kind of a sad story, but a good story. Now, I brought up Chaz Chop and how Minnesota is similar to what's happening. Minnesota right now, what's happening right now, similar to what happened with Chaz Chop back in 2020. And if you don't remember, briefly, a lot of your Antifas and whatnot set up a zone where there was no police and nobody in there. They called it the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Acronym CHAZ, Chaz. Then it got renamed to Capitol Hill Occupied Protest, CHOP. So we just said, okay, Chaz Chop. Now, during Chaz Chop, there were two black teenagers killed. One 19 years old, one 16 years old. And the 16-year-old was named Antonio Mays Jr. That's him right there. Okay, that's his dad right there with him in his picture in the courtroom. Okay, 16 years old. He was killed by somebody over in Chaz Chop. This is an area in Seattle back in 2020 during the riots in which there was no police. Okay, now a follow-up there. Seattle got sued for that, and now they got to pay $30 million. So your son, you can't bring your son back. And RIP to your boy, rest in peace. Praise out to you guys. But at least there's the financial compensation. You can't bring your son back, but at least they paid up.
Please read the verdict form. The state of, in the Superior Court of Seattle, in the Superior Court of the State of Washington in King County, the state of Antonio Mays Jr., by and through the personal representative of the state of Antonio Mays Jr. and Antonio Mays Sr., plaintiff, versus the city of Seattle, a government entity, defendant, cause number 23-2-10439-1 SCA, special verdict form. We, the jury, answer the questions submitted by the court as follows.
It's kind of a long video, but you get the idea. $30 million. Let me pull up an article right quick, actually, because this guy can't read for nothing. I mean, like, what's going on? All right, $30 million. There we go. Let's just do it this way. All right, and here we go. So, jury awards more than $130 million to family of teen killed during 2020 CHOP. They call it CHOP, but CHAZ, CHOP, Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone and Capitol Hill Occupied Protest. $30 million. There we go. But again, RIP to Antonio Mays Jr., 16 years old, killed by them out there at the Chaz Chop situation, the so-called protest. All they did with that protest was hurt people and kill people. That's all they did. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, let's keep going. I got a little bit more time here. A little bit more time. Y'all hang with me now. Hold on. What did I want to show? I think I wanted to show. I don't got time for Nicki Minaj and all of that. Oh, okay. I do want to show Nicki Minaj a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, because there's some reactions to what she did. Not very nice from the left. They didn't like her too much. They didn't like what she did too much. And they were very mean to Nicki Minaj. So I'm going to just show her briefly coming on stage. Now, we all know Nicki Minaj, very well-known rapper. There was some controversy about the gold card that she got. So she got the gold card from Trump. And we know about the gold card. The gold card gives you citizenship. But the White House said that the gold card was just a memento. She's already a lawful permanent resident. And she's becoming a citizen right now. The gold card is not linked to her citizenship. And she's not here illegally. Just to be clear. All right, so she didn't say too much, but I'm just going to show you that they were there together. Okay, so I got no more time. I just want to get to the next thing. So we all know Nicki Minaj was there. I put a lot of videos about her on my social media. They did very well. People are interested in what she has going on. I think having Nicki Minaj as part of the conservative movement will help bring more to our side, which is the purpose. You know, some guys don't like this, but it's like, okay, what's your suggestion to get more people to be on our side? Now, she did that. Nicki Minaj. Now, here is Billy Porter being asked about Nicki Minaj. And you know, Billy Porter, you know, this dude, you know, gender bending, weirdo, Hollywood. Hey, I wonder what he's done during his career. Like, you talking about Epstein files. Psh, that guy right there, if only walls could talk.
Nicki Minaj has been trending, you know, over her.
Fuck her. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time.
Okay, are you a lizard? Are you a serpent? What's going on with this? Look at your face, bro. Are you all right? See? Look. Are you good, though, bro? Are you all right? See? If you make that face because of something that I do, obviously, I'm not doing the wrong thing. I'm not going to get on Al Gore's internet looking like a whole lizard, a frog, a snake. What is going on? How does your mouth open that wide? You know what? I'm so sorry. I'm walking right into a trap with that one right there. With that inquiry, I'm going right into a trap. Anyway, he's not very pleased with what she did. I put it to you that way. The lizard mouth open all the way wide, like the things from Beetlejuice. Hold on. Now I got to find that. Yeah, you looking like... at the table when they had I know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna find it eventually, but and here is Jimmy Kimmel threatening violence. Hey, the funny part about Kimmel is that he's threatening violence, but he wants another so-called black woman to do it. So is that your role as a black person in the Democratic Party, to be their attack dogs? That's kind of what it seems like, because whenever there's an issue that they want to push, they try to shame us into defending them, to being their attack dog, to being their crash test dummy, like Don Lemon. Now you about to go to jail because of what they want you to do. Don't let white liberals get you sent to the penitentiary, because when you do crash out for them, when you adhere to their request or command, when you go to jail, they're not going to be there for you. They're going to say that you got locked up because of white supremacy. Meanwhile, it was them. But anyway, let's watch some of this.
And a very special guest, a woman who has recently emerged as one of the president's most unlikely fans.
There's a certain person that's here who's the greatest and most successful female rapper in history, Nicki Minaj. Come on. And, you know...
There she is. She's right. You see her, the black woman, the only black woman in the whole room? That's her. I think Trump's looking for a Nicki Minaj à trois, because she seems to dig him. This is one of his strangest bedfellows yet. I mean, where is Cardi B with a fistful of shoes when you need her?
A fist full of shoes. For what? Why she need that? To go attack her? See how to get you to crash out on him? Hey, you get locked up, you know, he's in jail because of racism, white supremacy. Nah, it's you. Oh, and by the way, this is what I'm talking about right there. I told you I was going to find it. Yeah, that's pretty much, that's how Billy Porter looked right there from Beetlejuice. Yeah, that's kind of how you looked. Now, I didn't know you could really do that in real life. I thought it was just a movie. Shout out to Tim Burton. I thought he had a great director in Tim Burton, special effects. I did not know you could do that in real life like Billy Porter did earlier. Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Jimmy Kimmel, threatening violence. How typical of the left. While they say they were the violent ones. Threatening with racial stuff while they say they were the racist ones. Always. Hey, you know what? I cannot wait until Jimmy Kimmel and Fallon and all these guys get canceled. Fallon is not that bad. Fallon is probably the best out of all of them. But Kimmel, and what's the other guy? Colbert. Yeah, Colbert, they got to go. They got to get up out of here. Terrible content. It's Orange Man bad every night. Hey, what happens when there's no more Trump in the White House? What do you do at that point? Who's going to be the punching bag at that point for these guys to make their money? I don't really get it. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling here. Hold on. Matter of fact, I got one more thing. This is Trump talking about Don Lemon briefly, just on audio. And it just came out. Let's just play some of this. Then we're going to get to the super chats and the calls. And the number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. What's that? 706-406-3287. Okay.
Conversations with Attorney about the Don Lemon thing, but he's a sleazebag. Everyone's known that. He's a wash-up. Probably, from his standpoint, the best thing that could happen to him. He's getting, he had no viewers. He was a failure. He was a failed host, and now he's in the news. I didn't know anything about it.
So what's your conversation?
There we go. So that was just a brief little audio from Trump about Don Lemon. He sucks. He's a failure. But what he said is that now he's going to get more attention. So that'll help him. And that's correct. That is correct. Unfortunately. But I hope it's not just attention. I hope it shouldn't just be attention. It should be a penitentiary sentence. In my humble opinion. But let's get to some super chats and calls in a moment. A number to call again, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Okay, I couldn't find it for a minute. It's like, where'd the icon go? All right, let me get super chats. Thank you to Applebucker, our Puff Daddy, who says, City of Seattle got to pay big victims of Chaz Chop. That's right, $30 million. That gets Apple again, who says, ABL thoughts on judgment for Seattle to pay damages. I think it's fantastic. You cannot bring Antonio Mays Jr. back, but at least they're financially compensated, as they should be. Thank you to Apple again, who says, views on Stephen A. Smith condemning Lemon arrest. I was saying that earlier, but Stephen A. and a lot of these guys just don't know anything. They're ignorant to reality beyond the bubble of their corporate environment, if that makes any sense. Thank you to Apple again, who says views on Charlemagne, de-magnification in the future. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Maybe that Charlemagne not being a MAGA. I'm not sure that he ever was. But beyond that, I'm not sure what you mean. Thank you to Apple again, who says ABL Clueless alarm sound, old school fire bell, submarine, dive, klaxon, Cold War era raid, Cold War air raid siren, European police siren, Star Trek, Red Alert, Pit 1. That's a good question. Give me the air raid siren, like something that says impending doom. Yeah, I need that in my life. When I get up out the bed, I have like a nice alarm. Hold on, what's my alarm right now? Let me see if I can play it for you guys right quick. Hold on. Let's say if I play my alarm, I might not be able to do it. Hold on. I don't have that crazy. I don't have that for my alarm, but it's something like that. Hold on. Yeah. I got that for my alarm. Yeah. But I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that either. If I'm really like super sleep, I'm super tired, but I got to get up. Like, let's say I do my podcast, right? I'm in the bed. I try to go to bed at a certain time. Like, I'm up right now. I'll be done by like, 11:30? Once I'm done with the podcast, I'm still turned up. I got to wind down. I might not go to bed till 3 o'clock. If I got to get up at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 3 or 6 o'clock, let me get the air raid. Yeah, that'll do it. All right. Shout out to Ron Henderson who says, Dan Lemon is a fool and you should do time. That's right. Thank you to our Black Pearl who says, Bevelyn's movies and showing now. That's right. Bevelyn Betty, remember who we talked about earlier? She was arrested and sent to the penitentiary for her abortion clinic protest outside. There's a movie about that right now. And Bevelyn, if you're watching Black China, really? Is that what you did? Anyway, hey, Bevelyn, if you're watching, shout out to you. Thank you to Dolores who says, thank you for all you do. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you. Thank you to Cardinal Flanagan who says, you ever see Biden's plan for new cars? It has video and audio on when you are in the car. It analyzes if you are acting, sitting different and normal. It can even summon law enforcement to pull you over. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't like that. At that point, I don't own the car. The car owns me. I don't like that. That's not good. Thank you to Reinerson who says, by Don Lemon was a preemptive actor, conspirator. Exactly. Because beforehand, he had knowledge of the event. He withheld information. He concealed it intentionally and used certain words like we're going here and we're doing this. And once they went there, he went inside and was part of he was pretty much the event's videographer. That's what he was. He was the media arm of the event. Thank you to MH Cassidy who says, in the court brief, one child was in fear. His parents were going to be killed. Absolutely terrifying. Don's racism is on full display with his white allies, which adds to the irony of getting charged under the KKK Act. Exactly. That's hilarious, ain't it? So hilarious. Imagine a black man getting charged with the KKK Act for a thing they did right before MLK Day. Make that make sense. Thank you to Nyrina, who says, if this was a bank robbery, would anyone forgive him for not calling the police trying to stop the robbery? Same analysis, both are crimes. Exactly. Like, the main thing is you can't go in there with them while they're doing it. Like, you can't do that. And you're trying to conceal what they're going to do. You're trying to conceal the plans. And then once they do it, you go in there with them. No, you cannot do that. Thank you to Michael Guess who says a church has the right to tell a person to leave. They do. That is correct. If you don't, that's called trespassing. But if you go in there and disrupt things, that's a criminal act because of the laws beyond just trespassing. Thank you to our Black Pearl who says Lemon didn't care if the elderly had a heart attack and the children being scared uncontrollably. Lemon and other black Democrats hate whites, but they're with them. Exactly. See, now, God forbid somebody had a heart attack in there. This would be a whole different conversation right now. If somebody like got injured, heart attack or panic attack, something like that, and got injured, now you're talking about potential, murder charge, assault, something like that. Thank you to Mauricio 91 who says Democrats are still the same race as they've always been. Of course. Thank you to Ryan Henderson who says, ABL, I don't want to trigger you, but you're welcome to my cookout anytime, buddy. I got you. Thank you to MH Cassidy who says, I never heard of so many celebrities limit about oppression on TV. Authoritarianism, like when Biden had the FBI force Twitter and YouTube to ban accounts, especially during COVID when people tried to earn money. Yeah, that was crazy. Biden's time was awful. That was awful, awful, awful. Like what he did, it sucked real bad. Thank you to Kiwan who says, number one, this is simply an attack on Christianity specifically. Number two, can you read a synopsis of the FACE Act and clip it? I can't do that. I can give you a short on the FACE Act for sure. Thank you to Mauricio who says, when have the good guys ever been the ones who storm churches? Never, ever, ever. Thank you to Michael Guess who says, absolutely, ABL. They are prisoners in their own mind. Exactly. Thank you to Michael Guess who says, hey, Donald, don't drop the soap in jail. Thank you to Michael Guess who says, You got two names. That's crazy, bro. Hey, Donald, Squeal Piggies. Okay, you talking about Don Lemon. Thank you to Mauricio, who says they don't have values. Their only value is to obstruct you. Correct. Thank you to Y Henderson, who says barbecue fork, pizza cutter, and a whistle if you live in Minneapolis. It's a survivor tactic, exactly. Thank you to Michael Guest, who says after the Civil War, blacks were forced to vote Democrat. Look at how many still on the plantation. They don't cross their Democrat masters. Michael Guest also says originally, yes, however, the Klan changed that, forced blacks to vote Democrat. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. Thank you to Michael Guest, who says just originally blacks to vote Republican. Thank you to Martha Allen, who says, ABL, what's your take on new government shutdown? That ain't going to happen. I don't even know nobody talking about that. That's not even really a thing that's going to happen. It's not enough. It's not enough. You know, the last shutdown, it was a lot behind it. It was a lot of marketing behind the shutdown, but now all of a sudden it's not, because they're not going to do it. Thank you to All Natural, who says Clinton's, Hunter Biden, Fannie Willis, Letitia James, Fauci, Gates, Justice Mouillet, etc. still not incarcerated. Well, hey, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Mauricio 91 says El Salvador looking better and better. Shout out to El Salvador. Ryan Henderson says Gavin is a Pepto man. That's right. Pink man bad. Thank you to Dan Vicious, who says Jay Dyer been crushing through Epstein's files live. Okay. Shout out to your promotion. That's fine. Thank you to Taylor, who says I drove through an ICE protest today. Whole crowd was just old ladies out there. It's like 30 degrees outside. Go home, Meemaw. Exactly. Thank you to Rage Bait or Rage B, who says, love your channel. Do you think this ends peacefully? What you mean, as far as ICE stuff? Yeah, of course it will. They always like blow some steam off, meaning the people that so-called protest, and they always do that. And then after a while, it's over with. And then if the money runs out, they're not going to be out there no more anyway, because there won't be a reason to, because they're not getting paid. Okay. But shout out to you guys. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287 is the number to call. And the phone lines are open. Hey, I was going a little bit too long, but I couldn't stop. I had more videos, but I couldn't. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. I don't even see your name right there, but shout out to you guys who enjoyed the show. All right. But yeah, Don Lemon being released is like, he still got a court date. He won't get remanded for that. I mean, unless you didn't, kill somebody or something, allegedly, they ain't gonna hold you for that. 860, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, it's FNA Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Oh, pretty good. I was thinking about that episode where you were going on about the sea turtle, and I ain't washing those straws out in the sink. And as I was washing the straws out in the sink tonight, I was thinking, yeah, because you don't have a little girl looking at you. Daddy, you can't do that for the sea turtles. But anyway, I just want to say that I don't think that if these protesters are paid protesters, and now that they found out that there's foreign money involved, I'm not a lawyer, and I did not sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night, but I did fire 2 lawyers in court in front of the judge and won both cases. And from what I can see, the protesters, now that they found out that Singham Sinclair in Hong Kong is a foreign actor, and other foreign actors from China and Venezuela are paying these protesters to protest, that changes their status from paid protester to mercenary. That carries federal charges, 3 to 20 years, and it bypasses all state laws. That's a federal offense, and they'll spend their time in federal prison. That's all I got for you, brother. Great show. Love you. You take care. And, buddy, if I invite you to a barbecue, it's going to be all normal food, best quality, and it's going to be cooked good. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. Great call. Yeah, shout out to the cookout. Yeah. Hey, if I'm coming to your cookout, I want it to be some good food. I don't want to eat nothing crazy. I want some, you know what I mean? Hey, and matter of fact, at the cookout, just don't do macaroni and cheese at all, because y'all not gonna be able to do it right. Because I'm picky like that. Okay. I want to speak it to 603 on the line.
Hey, what's going on, ABL? How you been, man?
It's all good, man.
Hey,
What's happening?
So I saw a video that you made earlier, and you made the biggest. It blew my mind. There are no blacks at these freaking protests at all. Here in over in Gary, New Hampshire, my hometown, I'm seeing all these weird-ass old white people, no black people, and I'm like, huh, ABL made a good point earlier. I just got to say, man, what a week it has been. This is a winning week for us. Don Lemon being arrested, finally. This is just great. Let's go back to 2020. I know we don't like talking about that, though, but let's just go back to that year where I see him with his mask, and on the chyron it says fiery, but mostly peaceful protest, and there's a huge fire behind him, and I'm like, no, that's not real. That can't be, it's real. I'm like, no, this idiot is just on to something or on something. This guy's out of his mind. I'm so glad to see this idiot doing that. And it's just really weird to me, though. They'll do it to churches, Christians. They don't do it to Muslims. They don't do it to Muslims. They won't do it to Jews. They'll do it to Christians, though. Christianity, the most persecuted religion in the world, and Don Lemon is now living proof of that. And I cannot wait for his day in court. So, that's awesome. That's just how that's all I got to say about that. But this is just awesome. I'm happy about that. What do you think about that?
And man, I'm right. I'm on the same page with you. Like, I love this. It needs to happen. And it needs to be an example. Hey, don't do this, people. Don't run into church and disrupt it because of the political opinion that you don't agree with. Let them have their worship and you stay outside. Because if you don't let them have their worship and you want to interfere, there's a prison cell waiting for you.
Exactly. And again, going back in 2020, though, they were having their churches, they were having their services outside, going by the whole 6 feet thing. People were still getting arrested. It's like, you know what? Again, Christianity, whether it's 2020 or 2026, still the most persecuted religion in this nation, if not the world. Unbelievable to me. It really is. And amazing that they won't do Muslims because, well, we all know what's going to happen. There's a bomb somewhere. So,
exactly.
All right, man. Thanks for the call.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. Yeah, they don't want that law walk bar activity. They don't want that to happen. 504 to the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right. A shout out to you in chat. And I was doing some more of the trial stream today and talking about the case, and it went well today with that. And also, yeah, I think Don Lemon is Timu.
Right on.
Yeah, and I think that, when people want to do or like protest something, they a lot of times I'm seeing nowadays are doing it the wrong way.
Yeah, they are, because like I said before, when I go to DC back in the day, especially, they'll be outside the White House with their little sign just protesting. They're not harming people. They're not going into private property. They're not damaging things, because those things, that's not a protest. What you do, you got to handle yourself appropriately. You can't just say, I don't like something, and then after that, do whatever you want to do and call it a protest. It's not the way it works.
Exactly. There's a right way and a wrong way to do something. It's also a sign of immaturity. I remember recently they were going into a church and protesting to the people's faces. That's only going to cause people to not support their cause, and it just makes them look demonic in the eyes of the people in the church.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there is, like you were talking about earlier with LA, there's these big protests, and they'll do these things a lot with the ICE protests, and they seem like they'll do the same thing over and over again. They get this big horde. I don't know where it comes from, and they're, of course, as we talked about, they're being funded by somebody, and they are causing problems with traffic. Like, for instance, they'll walk right in where the vehicles are driving, and people that are trying to go home or do from their work or wherever, and they have to deal with that, especially with ambulances too. And it's like they have no consideration for anybody else, and they're causing more problems to the people, the citizens of the city.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like, they need to crack down on that, to do what they can to stop it, although it's going to be a process to eventually get that taken care of. And they'll always break windows and vandalize things. I don't know how that proves a point.
I mean, all it does prove is that they are violent people, and they're not the good guys that say they are.
Yeah, that's right. And it shows that their ideology is violence, and they show their true colors by their actions because it speaks louder than their words.
It really does.
All right, silver, gold went down a little bit because there was a replacement in the Federal Reserve with the he put a new person there that was there before. Walsh, I believe, is his name, something like that. And with the new direction, it would be a more positive outlook. Say like some stocks went up and the greenback went up, and this is causing a shift in how like investors see the outlook of how the country's going to go.
Yeah, I saw that what was that gold and silver went down.
Yeah, it went down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing because it's going to go up because these things are never going to not be used. Because one thing about it, it's not just like because they're pretty. These things have actual industrial purposes all over the world, and it's never going to stop anytime soon. So I think if it dipped, this would be a good time for people to buy it.
Exactly. I think that it's a gift because it was going up over 100, and now it's going down a little below 100. And see, silver, for instance, gold is used to. Silver is this industrial metal that is used in EVs, and they want to go green, and there is a supply deficit. And I think, in my opinion, it's they're going to need more silver than actually is on the planet. So I do think it will certainly go up, and it holds more value than a fiat currency. So definitely, I think that it would be a good buying opportunity for people that are interested in that. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and because a lot of people panic, but the corrections happen, but then eventually it goes back to where it goes, and that's why people have to use their, like with politics, like we're doing now, with logic rather than emotion.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, and speaking of the weather, like I usually talk about, is that where I am, it dropped really cold, and it was cold before, but I'm starting to feel even more, and yeah, because I'm thinking to myself it's like over with because the storm passed over, but it's like an endless freezing air just coming in the direction of the country.
Yeah, it's like a whole big cold mass over the country. It's pretty cold here. It's like I checked it earlier. It was 19 degrees. I think it's closer to 15 right now.
Yeah, where I am, it's a little bit warmer. It's in the 20s and a little bit in the 30s, but it feels much colder because of the humidity, though.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. All right, and shout out to you in chat. Thank you for taking my call. That's all I have to say.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right, great call from Alien Spaceship. Absolutely. And shout out to you guys. You say that gold is still up like year over year. But even if it dipped, but that's the way it's always going to go. It's always going to be like just get in the dip when you can. Online speaker to 917.
Hi, ABL. It's Corinne from NYC.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, yeah. So I saw your clip with Jimmy Kimmel making fun of Nikki.
Yeah.
I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel, so I don't know when that aired or whatever. But has anybody commented on that? Like people taking offense to that? Because I find that very weird that he could just, he casually dismissed it. Like he was like, oh, I think Trump wants a menage a trois or something. Like he's just dismissing it. Like the only reason Trump would be interested in inviting Nikki is for some sexual thing. Like that's the only reason he could have a black woman there, because he want to have sex with her. I find that very offensive. It's kind of strange that he just casually joked about that like that.
But you know what? The funny part is that that's how they do on the left. That's what they would think, because, okay, you bring Nicki Minaj out, what's she doing? She's on stage talking. Ain't no twerking, ain't no none of that going on. But Meg Thee Stallion, what's she doing? On stage twerking for Kamala Harris. See, that's how they see black women. But we don't do that.
It's so obvious, but I really think I don't know if people have commented. I don't follow his show. I don't know if there's something where they're commenting on that, because I think that's very outrageous for him to just casually say that. And just like you said, they expose themselves. They're the ones that's kind of sexist. First of all, I don't know if he would say that about a white woman that Kimmel invited, that Trump invited. I don't know if it's because she's black, like you're just dismissing it as a sexual thing. Like, no, she wasn't twerking. She was covered up. I didn't see any of her body. She was in this big fur thing coat. So what is the problem? She has her own human mind. She's able to, and then he's like inciting black on black violence, like trying to say, "Oh, Cardi, get her," like get this other black girl. What is this? Like, that's crazy.
I feel the same way you feel, but that's how they are. They've been like that for a long time. When I kind of stepped back away from that side many years ago, I was able to see it. And it's been a pattern for years. That's just how they think.
Yes, and it's just strange that I guess he just is not afraid to say it. He said it with a grin, like he knows he's not going to get any backlash for that. But if there were comments like that from rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, like if Charlie Kirk had said something like that about whoever was twerking for them for that side, if they had casually dismissed it as like, oh, they probably just want to have sex with that girl, that black girl, look at her just twerk, it's like a sexual thing, or just telling another black girl to come get her, then it would be a big thing if a Charlie Kirk or somebody said something like that. Like, how you can't get away with saying something like that.
I agree with you 100%. I've not really seen much outrage from the left on that because they all feel the same way.
That's sick. I just think that's sick that he just made that comment. But moving on, also with Don Lemon, yeah, you were killing me with your jokes with him. But it is kind of funny though that they did kind of cut out the pictures of his white husband. Not that it matters; it doesn't matter. But if he's going to be such a raging like anti-white person, it's kind of strange. I don't care who you date or anything, but it's just kind of funny, like ironic that anytime you see this, I don't know who that person is, that wide mouth person that was offended by Nikki and was hissing. I don't know who that person is.
That's Billy Porter.
Okay, well, I wouldn't be surprised if Billy Porter had a white boyfriend or something. Like, it's just weird. Like, they seem so against everything, and then you have a white husband, and then they're cutting him out of the pictures because I guess that doesn't fit the narrative.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. As you're talking, I'm gonna put up a picture on the screen.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. That's Billy Porter.
Oh Lord.
His white husband.
Oh no. So see, are you serious?
Now look, well, they did get a divorce. They did, but they were married.
So what is he mad at? Why is he mad at? Why is he breathing like a dragon or whatever he was doing, saying he don't like? What's the problem? I just think it's sick.
It is. It really is.
That is funny. And okay, that's it. I just wanted to comment on Don Lemon being kind of crazy and everybody pretending. Chris Cuomo, who definitely knows the law, everybody's just acting like there's no big deal with storming a church. Like, excuse me, what is that? You can't let them storm my church. No, that's not. You're not going to be interviewing and then making people's kids cry and think that's okay. No,
it's not. It's really not.
And I just want to say, you did say, you said casually, you said, oh, they're storming, Jewish temples or whatever, and Christian churches, and then you said mosques. I have not personally heard of any of these people storming a mosque. I don't know if you just said that. I haven't heard of that, but I feel like they're kind of cowardly because they go to Christian churches. They target these Christian churches because everybody knows there's a difference. Like, you're probably not going to have the same outrage and backlash, and they know they're good, decent people in there. So they're just storming a church, getting aggressive, and they know they're not going to get that pushback from these nice Christian people. But why would they try running up in a mosque and see what happens to them?
Yeah, they don't want that at all.
They don't want that.
Somebody did go into a synagogue, like a Jewish temple recently. I played that video, but
yes, I did see that. But I heard you say the mosque thing, and I was saying I have not seen that because I just don't believe that they have the courage to do that.
Nah, they don't want to do that. That's what I was saying. Like, they could do that, but they don't want to do that because they know it's going to be a serious penalty.
Yes, it will. Okay, and that's about it. And also, I heard you say you casually said Atlanta's like New York. I mean, I don't know. Atlanta was kind of boring to me. I think we could appreciate all the different places. Like, I like Texas. I wouldn't say, oh, a part of Texas, like Austin is like New York. Just be Texas and be Georgia and be you. Be Florida. My dad's in Florida right now. But Atlanta, another New York, I don't agree. I mean,
it's spread out though.
I don't know,
like if it's spread out. Like if you just made Atlanta be kind of crunched together like the way New York.
But it's not just that. It's like where's their? Do they have a Times Square type of thing where different people are coming from all over the different countries to, like, what about the culture? They have the museums and everything. I don't really see that over there.
It's all spread out. Like I understand what you're saying, but it's like if you had
like what
if the metro area was like crunched down into like Midtown, downtown, it'd be much different.
Mm-hmm.
But it's spread out. It's a big like sprawling metropolis. It's kind of like if you
maybe I didn't see it yet, but I just feel like New York is New York.
Yeah.
I've been a lot of places and ain't no place like New York. Even when we there's a saying, only in New York, because I've seen some crazy things in New York and I have never seen them anyplace else. Like, I'm talking crazy good and crazy bad, crazy funny, but it's just all around. New York is just very unique. But I love Georgia. Georgia's very beautiful, but yeah, I was just like kind of rubbed the wrong way when you was like, it's like in New York. I don't know. But anyway, have a good night. I want you to get to the other calls.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate you.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call as always. Yes, indeed. But yeah, Billy Porter, of course he married to a white man. Now he got some kind of Dominican looking dude. I want to put that picture up because, at a certain point, you search for these dudes' pictures. Just like now I'm seeing so much I don't want to see. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to see Twickenberries. Anyway, I want to speak it to you on the line, 617.
Hey, ABL, it's Jenna in West Virginia. Forgive my voice. I'm slowly losing it in this cold weather. But I have a little bit of a feel-good story and a little bit of a lesson. I'll try to make it as quick as I can. I've told you before about so my boyfriend lives in Tacoma Park, Maryland, which is super liberal, right? And he is American, but he's of Salvadoran descent. His mom is an immigrant. She came here during the Civil War, worked her butt off as a maid, and I think she did some serving or whatever too. Like, she worked 2 jobs to give her boys a better life. He got into real estate development, tore down their family ranch, built them up this big, beautiful home on the same exact lot. Well, now all these liberals live in the area, and they loathe him, and they say that he's like doing unsavory things, which obviously he's not, because if he was, I would have nicer things. But a couple of weeks ago, a person walks up to the house. I get a Ring camera message from him, and it's a larger, what you could tell is a woman, dressed like Antifa, dressed in all black, and you can see them very methodically pull down their hoodie over their eyes, so that they're wearing a face mask, takes a gigantic rock, hurls it through our front window. Wow. And what they didn't know is, unfortunately, his mom was home, and she watches a little boy. She has like a kind of a daycare. He's playing on his meta glasses on the other side of that glass. By the grace of God, he wasn't injured, but he got glass shattered all over him. He doesn't want to play video games ever again. So he called the police. Police are like, yeah, we can't really do anything about it. So I was like, no, that doesn't sound right. And everybody always says, like, in liberal areas, they're going to tell you that. So I posted the video to Facebook, and I sent it to Libs of TikTok, thinking for no chance Libs of TikTok's going to pick it up. Within 3 days, it was at 2 million views, and the interneted, and she's now been arrested for malicious property destruction, second-degree assault, and reckless engagement to a child. So the best part is she showed up the next day after she did it, and she blamed a raccoon. I'm not joking. She left a note that said, "I'm so sorry, I broke your window. A raccoon was involved."
I mean, why would you? That's just mind blowing, really.
Well, and she wrote her first name and her phone number. So, of course, I called the phone number. So the detective, because God bless the internet, you got to love the internet. The internet's tagging Tacoma Park PD cash to tell Tim Todd. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I was laughing, but I was like, oh my goodness. But they were all tagging like the chief of police. And my lesson in this is, guys, don't ever let them gaslight you and say like somebody's going to do anything. Be relentless. Honestly, people can't get away with doing stuff like that. That poor little boy doesn't want to play video games ever. And do you know why she did it?
Why?
Because he had a Charlie Kirk flag hanging on his balcony.
People are crazy. I mean, all of that just for the Charlie Kirk flag. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
What's crazy is he asked me, "Babe, can you order me a Charlie Kirk flag?" And I said, "Sure, why?" And he said, "Well, because all my neighbors, like, they seem to really hate me because I think they know that I'm a conservative. But you know how he says that when conversation stops, violence starts? I really think that people should talk to each other more." And that's the spirit in which he hung the flag. And for that, she threw a rock through his window and she blamed a raccoon.
Crazy.
If you actually go to X on Libs of TikTok, you'll see what I'm talking about. I can't make this stuff up. She wrote, "I'm so sorry, I broke your window. A raccoon was involved." So now people are making memes of a raccoon with his hands up saying, "Hands up, don't shoot." And now he wants a flag of it.
That's hilarious.
But be relentless, y'all. Don't ever let anybody tell you that, like, oh, they're not going to charge because it's a liberal area. Nobody deserves to have that happen to them. So it is kind of funny, but it's also a lesson, and I'm really glad that I pursued it. So hopefully that provides encouragement that if you really push, they will pursue charges.
Well, hopefully so, because they most certainly deserve it. I mean, a raccoon, really, that's the excuse? Yeah, a raccoon did it. Oh, okay. They must be getting real smart.
Did it in broad daylight.
You there?
Yeah, I am. I'm so sorry. I don't know how I keep losing service. She did it in broad daylight on a Sunday. She planned this, and she's 48 years old.
Yeah, too old for that.
So the funny thing was, the detective actually called us after we were leaving. So here's my biggest thing too. Like, so wait a minute, you guys are the ones that are on like this Ice Watch neighborhood group. So you love immigrants, but he's just not the right kind of brown for you.
There you go.
Because he's legal.
There it is.
And so we had just left a Ben Bankis comedy show, who's like a really pro-ICE comedian. And the detective actually called us when we got in the car and said, "Hey, we just picked her up on those 3 charges." So we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, I mean, guys, shoot your shot, pursue it, and make sure you get justice for yourselves, because liberals can't keep getting away with this stuff.
Exactly, 100%.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
A raccoon did it? Is that what we're gonna say? I mean, broad daylight. It's like, I can see you. Like, I literally, I can look dead in your face. Oh no, I want me. Blame the raccoon. That's like the dog ate my homework. Yeah, the dog ate my homework. It's like, man, come on. You 40-something years old with these 2-year-old excuses? Why? 310, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Ron from Georgia. How you doing, ABL?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Another big week, man. I tell you, man, this Don Lemon, his defiant act, that he's gonna be there for the press and everything like that. It's laughable. It's laughable. And then everybody having all the newscasters. I said the news commentators, because they're not. They call themselves journalists, but they don't go out there and do any footwork. They just, like you said, they just read a script. They read the script that's given to you, just like Charlemagne the God and all this here stuff. $200 million. Yeah, you're getting paid $200 million to read the script. And that's the thing. You see, they, like you said, they got their head down and everything. Yeah, because they're reading the script. And then think about it, they're not speaking from their heart. But if they do speak from their heart, you really find out how foul they are. Just like when, Don Lemon, he's called himself a Christian. He is not a Christian. Ain't no way that he's a Christian in the lifestyle that he's living. Hell, he claims to be, but he's a false Christian. He's a anti-Christian. Okay, so that's what he is and everything like that. That's how he could come into the house of God to defile it. He had no problem with that because he has no spirit of the place where he came in to try to defile him and all those other people that came in there to defile the worship that was going on at that time. And just like we all know that they wouldn't go into certain churches, they wouldn't go into a church where a Baptist church with some brothers in there. No, they wouldn't be going in there because they wouldn't get past the deacons. They wouldn't get past the ushers. I mean, even those sister ushers would have stopped them right there. What the heck? They'd go off, straight off. The thing about it is that, like you said, you don't have free speech on private domain. Your free speech is outside my door. You can't come into my house talking about free speech. No, your speech is dictated by the hospitality that I give you, and not the hospitality that you try to take. And that's the thing about it. These people they're just going crazy. And the thing about it is that they think that they can go ahead and, they're salivating on the fact that, and the hope that they will get a chance of being in power again. Oh boy, they just want to be in power again because why? So they can go ahead and reap revenge on us. Now, if we took that same mindset that they want to project on us for the future and did that in the present, they would be wailing right now, because we do have things that we righteously could be charging these people if we had the judges and everything, if we had justice in our country. I'm just saying we have laws in our country. We just don't have justice in our country. Because if justice was did in our country, a lot of people wouldn't be walking these streets. They wouldn't be getting that slap on the wrist. They would be getting persecuted and doing times. I tell you, I look at some of these here Australia border series and everything, and you see where these people come in with drugs or whatever, and they get justice. Okay, so they come in with this. They don't get a time served. They get time they're going to be serving, and that's what need to be happening here in America. People need to be getting served up this time. The laws are on the books. If the laws are on the books, there are consequences for violating those laws. Just like the track runner, Shakira, whatever her name is, Speed Demon, and she was doing 104 miles an hour on the Florida highway. Well, they got a super speeder law that went into effect this year, and they said that if you get a car going over 100 miles an hour, you're going to jail. I can't go to that. No, you're going straight to jail. You're going to jail. And they gabbled her butt, impounded her car, and took her butt to jail. That's justice. You see, this is what needs to be done today. Justice. And I tell you, these judges that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, they need to be disbarred. They need to be sat down, because you're not promoting justice in our land, in our counties, in our cities. And quit being on the dole, just your liberal mindset and everything like that. The justice is supposed to be blind. No, it's not blind. They got one eye open, and then they got the left eye open, and that's the one that they looking through, the left eye, and that's how come these here lefties are getting out. But you know what? We just need to just continue to hold on, because you know what? These people can't continue to get on with this. We got foreign infiltrators coming in, sending their money into our country. trying to wreak havoc. And I'm glad that this stuff is being found out. These billionaires from across China and Brazil or wherever the heck they're getting their money from, yeah, this stuff is being found out. And these people, like that, I like what that guy was saying. They need to be prosecuted as terrorists. They're in an organization, organization outside of our country. They're being funded by that. That means you align yourself with that. You are not Americans holding up. People are insurrectionists. These are the true insurrections, the true insurrectionists. These people are. The things that they try to say that the rights and the conservative movement is a damn lie. They're the ones that's doing it. They're the ones that's doing it, and like I said, we're just sick of it and sick of them trying to tell us what's really going on. No, we know what's going on today. We exactly know what's going on, and these people are trying, like you said, trying to gaslight us. No, we're not being gaslighted. We see the truth, and the thing about it, they can't handle the truth. They just can't handle it. But we can. We stand on the right, my brother. We stand on the right side of history, and I don't care. And they may be the ones trying to write the history, but we're the ones walking into the history, and we're making history. I'm telling you, we are going to make history. The true Americans, the true patriots of our nation, the true people who are standing up for righteousness, to the true people who are standing up for what is right and what is just. This is what we need to continue to hold on to. I continue to pray for our nation, the people, pray that their minds get right. You know, like you said, love your God, love your country, love your family, love your people, the people that you, like you said, your small circle. You know what? It only takes a small people, man. 1/3 of the nation, 3% of the nation fought in the American War, between Britain and gave us liberty. It don't take a lot. It just takes people who are diligent and have perseverance. That's what we are, my brother. God bless you, my brother. I can't wait till you come and have that barbecue, man. Tell me what kind of back food you want. I know you don't want all that mac and cheese. Okay, so I know to scratch it off my list and everything, but be down for ribs, chicken. I know you like salmon, so I can put some shrimp on the barbie. All that good stuff for you, my brother. We'll let it happen. Let it happen, man, because I can throw down, brother. But I love you, man. You take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
All right, then. Love you too, man. Bye-bye.
All right, a great call, fantastic call. And that will be a wrap for me. Look, it's later and later. It's 11:30 now. It's way past my bedtime. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you enjoyed the show tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I'll be back live on YouTube on Wednesday. I'm here every Wednesday and Saturday. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. 11:30 right now, but it's all right. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm live on Instagram every Tuesday. Shout out to the Instagram people. You guys are fantastic. I'll be back live on Instagram Tuesday as well, but live YouTube every Wednesday and Saturday. And I put out content every day on this channel and on my other channels, short form, long form, whatever. I think I'm going to do one about Sha'Carri Richardson because he just reminded me about that. I want to talk about that in the video. I might do a long form tomorrow about that. Yeah, I might do some videos Sundays occasionally. You'll see them. But either way, follow me here on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Instagram, Facebook. I'm going to say something right now since I'm right here. Just a little bit of inside baseball. My channel is an old channel. Think about if you were watching YouTube in 2015 when I started, who from back then is still around right now? I mean, but who did you watch in 2015 on YouTube who's still around right now? I have an old channel. So what YouTube is doing now, they're pushing the newer channels, like intentionally. Have you ever seen, like you watching the video and says you can hype the video? You can't get that on the old channel. You can only get it on the new channel because they're trying to get the new people some attention. So my growing platforms that are growing really a lot is Facebook and Instagram. I think I gained like 12,000 followers on Facebook in the month. But over here, it's like it stays stagnant because it's just the way the platforms are. So having said that, you may see different content that I do not put on YouTube on those other platforms. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. So I try to get you wherever you are. The young people, they on TikTok. The people that's my age, I would say, 30, 40, 50 maybe, they on Instagram more. And Facebook, that's like a little bit older than me. Like my sister age, maybe a little like 50, 60, kind of like up there. But either way, it don't matter. My content is for everybody. You could be a little baby. You could be 1,000 years old like Maxine Waters. It don't really matter. My content's for everybody. But I'm at wherever you at. So make a long story less long. Please follow me everywhere. All the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm everywhere. And of course, the website, the merch site, all of that is right there. No social media. Alrighty. So that'll pretty much be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I got all the super chats, so shout out to you guys again. You guys are the best audience. Thank you for everybody. Thank you to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chat, and whatever you do. I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping them trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. I got everybody, all the super chats, and everything else. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.